Welcome, everyone, to Western Boone High School, home of the Western Boone Stars, for some Friday Night Lights action with a twist. It's postseason football, ladies and gentlemen. Weather outside right now, as we take a look at it, about 55 degrees and sunny, clear skies for some football. It's a familiar sight and a tale of two teams that has been told before, but tonight it's win or go home in this sectional semifinal matchup between the 9-1 Western Boone Stars and the 4-6 Danville Warriors. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Riley Woodall. Right next to me is my partner in crime, Blake Marth. Blake, with seasons on the line for both teams, the pressure and stakes are at an all-time high.
Yeah, certainly, Riley. Both these teams looking to extend their seasons. Western Boone has had a very good year, 9 wins so far. Their only loss came in Week 4 at Tri-West. Danville, meanwhile, has had more of a struggle this season than they're used to, only going 3-6 in the regular season. But they did get that huge upset win against the Tri-West team that beat Western Boone earlier this year. Expect to see some fireworks here in a rematch of a game a few weeks ago. This one should be fun.
The winner of this game will go on to face the winner of Monrovia and Speedway, that game kicking off at Speedway in just a few moments. We'll be sure to keep you updated on that throughout the evening. But we're here in Boone County for game number 2 between the Stars and Warriors this season. Blake, we'll get right into it. Western Boone dominated Danville 33-7 in their first meeting back on October 7th. What does Danville have to do differently to keep it closer and have a chance to walk off the field with a win here tonight?
Well, Riley, it's going to take some big adjustments on the offense for Danville in order to get past this Western Boone team. Looking at that game a few weeks ago, which you and I called, it was a fairly competitive game until about midway through the third quarter there, as Western Boone did a better job at adjusting in the second half. Now this Danville team comes in with a lot more confidence. As we mentioned, they beat Tri-West last week, and they come in determined to beat Western Boone, a team that is trying to reach the double-digit wins threshold after they convincingly beat Crawfordsville last week.
As we mentioned before, Danville upset a heavily favored Tri-West team last week, 40-21, ending the Bruin season. We'll get more on that later in the evening. What have you seen the Warriors do to elevate their play the last couple of weeks, Blake?
Well, a lot of their success has come from quarterback Connor Soper, who took over part of the way through the season here. He made a lot of big-time throws, but more importantly, he had a lot of clutch throws. He threw a great Hail Mary to end the first half last week. He had a lot of third down conversion plays, and ultimately his elevated play has balanced out with the run game of Danville to help make them a better team and give them a good chance tonight, but we'll see.
On the flip side, Western Boone dismantled Crawfordsville last week 42-7 for their first game of the postseason. They are hot. A 6-game win streak started all the way back on September 16th. How do the Stars continue to ride the wave of momentum tonight, Blake, and get the win?
Well, Western Boone has continued to ride on the back of their tough defense and great run game, led by senior Trevor Weekly, as well as very efficient play by quarterback Rowan Durbin. He's only thrown 3 interceptions this year and has combined for nearly 1,500 yards and 27 touchdowns here. And the home crowd as well, has also been big for Western Boone as they are undefeated at home.
The last time these two faced off, it was Western Boone's defensive adjustments, as we mentioned, in the second half that led to 2 key interceptions that broke the game open. Blake, how does Danville stay in front of the chains and on schedule to combat the fast front of the Stars tonight?
Well, Connor Soper's play has been a big part, but Darren Sharp has really commanded the offense for Danville with over 1,200 yards on the ground. They need to be able to run the ball effectively and pick up these earlier conversions on first and second downs, because when Western Boone takes you to a third down, Riley, we've seen it this year, it is very, very difficult to convert.
Both defenses have to contend with the physical and explosive run games of both offenses, Blake. What do these teams have to do to at least somehow slow each other down tonight?
Well, it's going to take a lot of hits before the line by both of these teams, I think, Riley, whether it be by sacks or tackles for loss on runs, stuff like that. Limiting these running plays is going to be the key to this game, I think. Only getting a few yards at a time will be huge for these teams, because if one of these teams gets into a rhythm and is picking up, 7-8 yards per run, it's going to be very, very difficult for the other team to counter and get back into the game.
The Stars lining up in the end zone, huddled up and ready to go. Sectional semifinal action, and here come the Stars. After they talk it over in the end zone for a second. Try it again. Here come the Stars.
All right, there we go. This crowd is rocking, Riley.
Rocking indeed. There's nothing like postseason high school football. The feel, the atmosphere, everything in between. Nothing like it, Blake. Captains will meet up at the 50 and await the coin toss to see who will get their choice at it first. Blake talked about it a little bit too. Western Boone's team stats on the year offensively. They're over 1,000 passing yards, averaging 110 yards per game, 15 passing touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. But really their success has come on the ground. 2,500 rushing yards, averaging 252 yards per game, 38 rushing touchdowns, and a lot of that has really been put on the back of star running back Trevor Weekly.
Yeah, Trevor Weekly has been nearly unstoppable in a lot of these games this year. As you mentioned, he is 2 yards shy of 1,300 yards on the year. He has 14 touchdowns on the ground, and he's just been incredible, averaging nearly 130 yards per game. That is just insane. And watching some of these runs, he'll turn a run of what looks like maybe 1 or 2 yards into 4 or 5, and he'll do it consistently. And he could also break out and make these big plays. His longest run of the year was 60 yards. And he's been a huge part of the run game, but also these other backs as well who have been able to do a great job and get the run game going. Guys like Ryan Taylor and, even the quarterback Rowan Durbin has gotten a lot of rushing yards this year. So having some variety, but mainly having Trevor Weekly be the bell cow is going to be huge for Western Boone.
He's became the third running back in the last 10 years in the Pelly era to have over 1,000 rushing yards in a season. Robbie Taylor and Cruz Washington complete that list. Even though Western Boone started out as a pass-first offense in the early years of the Pelly era, it has developed more into a balanced attack during the state championship runs a couple years ago. And really the run game has anchored this offense throughout their seasons the past couple of years, but specifically this year. Danville won the toss and elected to defer to the second half, so that means the Western Boone offense will see the field first, Blake.
Yeah, and, I like that decision by Danville to let their defense go out on the field first. This Western Boone offense has been very, very good this year, but looking at a lot of these games, they've especially done well in the second half. So if Danville can get these first half stops, it'll definitely be a lot easier for them in the game. But if Western Boone comes out firing in this first half, it's going to be very, very difficult for Danville to stop them. So we'll see what they do on this first drive. This is a huge tone setter, like always in these games.
Ethan Bales and Marcus Fortner back deep to receive for the Warriors. And, of course, number 43, for the Stars, and, of course, number 43 for the Warriors. That is a different number. That is number 81. That is James Beck. Will kick us off to start this matchup. It's the Western Boone Stars versus the Danville Warriors, number 2 on the year. Shaping up to be another instant classic, Blake. Anything can happen on Friday Night Lights action in the postseason. Set to kick off, and here we go. Fielded by Fortner at the 10. He's got to take a second to juggle it. Now he's making a couple moves down the sideline, pushing forward, still going. Finally brought down at the 36-yard line. Great starting field position for the offense of Western Boone.
Yeah, one thing that doesn't often get mentioned with these teams, the special teams play has been really, really good for Western Boone this year, especially on these kick returns, being able to get good field position on a lot of these drives. And, of course, on their own I can't talk.
You're good.
Own end, Josiah Smith, he's been a very, very good kicker to give these other teams really difficult field position. So Western Boone, the field position game has been huge for them and giving them a much easier field for Durbin and the offense to work with.
The Stars go trips formation to the wide side of the field. Bales motions in. Left side. Durbin passes it out to him on the left. Cuts inside, but is tackled very quickly by a host of Stars defenders for a minimal gain of 1 or 2. No, they do call it no gain on the play.
I do see a flag down on the far side of the field. And it's going to be, I think they're signaling a hold on the offense here. We'll get the official call in a moment. But yeah, we see that a lot too with these swing passes to the outside by Western Boone, especially to Ethan Bales. He's been huge in that game, and he's really been a game changer on the outside. But it looks like Western Boone on this first play, not a great way to start. We've seen them struggle a little bit with penalties in some games, and it will be a hold on them. So not the best way to start, but still it'll only be a first down for them.
Back during the first matchup between these two, it was the Warriors that struggled on the penalty side of things, specifically the offense with all the motion that they like to do. So great starting field position at the 36, now backs him up all the way to the 24-yard line. Stars still with a 1st and 20. They go with the same formation. Bales goes in motion once again. Durbin in the gun. He does pass it out to Bales. He cuts inside and this time gets a little bit of that back, but not much, maybe a gain of 3.
Yeah, nice job by Danville reading the play. A pretty similar play to what we saw in the last one, going to Bales on the outside and only picking up a few. But with Western Boone, they like to pick up only a few yards on some of these plays. Obviously, this is a bit of a different situation since it's now 2nd and 17 rather than what would be a 2nd and 7. But a lot of these shorter gains, Western Boone does not mind because it helps them set up these easier conversions. So we'll see what they do here.
Bales on the year has 503 rec yards and 6 touchdowns. Been very effective for the Stars offense. Durbin back to pass. Fires a slant over the middle. It's complete to Bales, who makes a cut, makes a man miss down the sideline, and he's got a first down and more into Warriors territory. And, man, what a big gainer for Western Boone.
Yeah, really, really good play there by both Durbin and Bales. Durbin able to get the ball out quickly on the slant to Bales, and he's very, very good in these sort of chaotic situations where he's in the middle of the field, in the middle of the pack, kind of trying to navigate his way around, and finds the outside and picks up the first down. A big play, especially after that penalty, to pick up a first down. That's big for Western Boone into Warriors territory.
That's 3 passing attempts on 3 consecutive downs. A little bit of a different start that we're used to seeing from this Western Boone Stars offense. Taylor goes in motion. They hand it off to Weekly, his first carry of the night. He's got some room, and he pounces forward for a gain of 11.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Trevor Weekly is really good at. And when he gets in rhythm for that, he is very, very difficult to stop. Able to just break through. And the offensive line, Riley never gets enough credit. But when the offensive line is blocking as well as they have for Western Boone this year, it's almost impossible for Trevor Weekly to not do some of these things because they're just all playing so well as a unit.
Minus the holding call earlier, this is one of the cleanest and most disciplined offensive lines I've seen. A trips wing formation to the Western Boone sideline. Durbin will keep it himself. He fires outside to Bales, incomplete. In and out of the hands. Had a little bit of room on the sideline, couldn't reel it in this time.
Yeah, and a little bit of a dangerous one there by Durbin there, trying to get it out to Bales. You had some Danville Warriors guys over there. Caden Collins is the main guy I saw for Danville. Had he just been a little bit further back, he might have been in position to pick that one. Just goes through Bales' arms, and 2nd and 10, so not the worst situation in the world, but not the best start to this these chains right here.
Base formation. Taylor back in motion again, and flags fly in, and we got our 2nd penalty of the game. Looks like the Warriors front jumped off sides.
Yeah, it looks like it. You saw it there for Danville. That was number 66, Gregory Cade. Looked like he almost fell down there on the hard count by Durbin. The cadence, I was told by Dustin Cunningham a couple weeks back at the Lebanon game. Shout out to him once again. But, yeah, Durbin's really good at getting the defenses to jump off like that. We've seen him do that a lot this year, and it makes it 2nd and 5 much more manageable for Western Boone.
So once again, backed up behind the chains. Now they are ahead in the game, 2nd and medium. Bales in motion. They hand it to Weekly, who's not going to get much and be tackled down in the backfield. Looked like number 28 there for the Warriors. That is, in fact, Braylon Krager.
Yeah, really nice play there by the Danville front. We see when you get a lot of guys on Trevor Weekly, it's hard to bring him down. But when you have that much force, you're doing a really good job on getting over to him and being able to make that stop. Now 3rd and 5, and going to be interesting to see what Western Boone calls here.
3rd down and 5. Taylor in motion. They do pitch it out to him to the left. Shakes a tackle. He's still going. Breaks loose. Touchdown, Western Boone. Just like that, the Stars strike first blood.
Yeah, what a great run there. And, just like that, after one run doesn't go well, immediately you're going to get huge play, and that Western Boone offense is so explosive it could happen at any time, and they get the first points in this game. Critical for them.
Very, very impressive run. We've seen him dominate in that facet all season long. Josiah Smith's kick is up and good. 31 for 33 on the season. And Ethan Bales, we talk about his season, man. Mentioned the rec yards, mentioned the touchdowns there. He's also had 29 carries for 303 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on the season. Kind of been the sort of Swiss Army knife that they need, getting the clutch yards when they need it for the Western Boone Stars offense, Blake.
Yeah, he's been huge for Western Boone. We see him a lot of times get these pitches to the outside, and once again able to exploit it. Not really anybody there for the Danville defense. He only had a couple of guys to miss, and he's really good at running an open field, so nice job by this whole Western Boone offense there, kind of making up for that penalty early on in the drive and putting together an excellent, very short drive as well, only about 3 minutes off the clock, to strike early and set the tone early in this playoff matchup.
The superstar wide receiver and return man for the Warriors, that is B.J. Wiest, is back deep to receive Smith's kick. We saw in the first matchup between these two, Blake, earlier this season, that Smith was able to sort of get it out of the back of the end zone for more touchbacks and not really give Wiest, the dangerous return man, a chance to return it and give the Warriors great field position.
Yeah, and that's huge for the Western Boone team, having Josiah Smith, a very good kicker, able to kick it through the back of the end zone to limit that return game.
Smith kicks it off. Going to be short, fielded at the 5. Wiest takes it, got some blockers. Sutter steps forward and is brought down at the 33.
Good return there by Wiest. Another good special teams play early in this game. And we'll see the Danville offense for the first time tonight. And I'm going to be really interested to see what combination of passes and runs they have, especially with Darren Sharp, the very, very good running back for them in the backfield. Let's see what they do early here to try and combat what Western Boone just did.
I believe it is him and Weekly that are 1 and 2 in terms of rushing yards in the Sagamore Conference left. He has 1,244 coming into tonight. Does Sharp. Soper back to pass, looking, fires outside, incomplete, thrown high, intended for Wiest.
Yeah, and we saw that a little bit back a few weeks ago when Danville came here to play Western Boone. Soper, he hasn't played a ton of games this year. He's played a few more since that matchup, but having not played many games, he's had some issues with accuracy from time to time, but he's really cleaned it up recently. But a misfire there to make it 2nd and 10.
Very heavy run formation on 2nd and 10. Wiest in motion. They hand it off to Sharp for his first carry of the night. And not much doing. He dives forward for maybe a gain of 4. And a 3rd and long coming up already for this Warriors offense.
Yeah, big stop there by Western Boone. 3rd and 7 here. And like we mentioned, when you get to a 3rd down against the Western Boone defense, it is very difficult to convert. But we've seen some teams do it this year. If Danville's going to have a chance, they're going to have to convert some of these downs like this. Warriors
defense held, Stars defense held the Warriors to only 7 points. Soper in trouble, fires over the middle, and it's complete. Caught by Wyatt Gentry, who's down the sideline. He might go! Touchdown, Warriors! And we got a tie football game just like that.
Wow, what a play there by Wyatt Gentry to be able to break through there. A great throw by Soper. He had a lot of pressure on him if he saw that. And being able to complete it there, not only to get the first down, but Gentry's off to the races. He's got huge speed, and nobody on that Western Boone defense can catch him. That is exactly what Danville needed early on in this game as a tone setter there.
Both of these offenses early have been able to get their playmakers in space, and that has served them well. Harvey's kick is up and good. 7-7 the score with 8:04 left to go. And man, Blake, the Stars were able to come out and strike first very, very quickly, but the Warriors answered back with a little bit of momentum of their own.
Yeah, some explosive plays here early. The defense is struggling a little bit on these first couple of drives. Right there, you saw just when you have a play like that by Gentry, it's really difficult to stop. But big momentum swing for Danville. Still, though, only about 4 minutes through this game. That was less than a minute drive by Danville, so excellent job to them. But 4 minutes into this game, we've already seen some of those fireworks we were talking about, and Danville trying to stay in it, especially considering how much they struggled a few weeks back.
Soper's only played 7 games this season. Coming into tonight, had 746 yards passing with 8 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. He's the third QB in the last 5 years to have over 700 passing yards in just one season, and he's only played 7 games. And he delivered a big pass over the middle to Gentry to put the Warriors on the board.
Yeah, that was very impressive by Soper, and I mentioned it with these clutch throws that he's able to have. That was a clutch one right there, and keeps this game tied up. Western Boone's offense going back onto the field.
Kick bounces short at the 21-yard line, fielded by, I believe that is Fortner. He gets another stab at it and gets a little bit of a chunk gain back. Stars will start their second offensive drive at the 35.
Yeah, that is a very good return once again by Western Boone. Fortner, we've seen him get more and more involved in this return game. Ryan Taylor's been a big part of the return game, and so has Fortner. And early on, he's done his part to set up Western Boone with good field position once again at around the 35-yard line. We'll see if the offensive fireworks continue or if the defense for Danville steps up. Interesting drive here.
It was the passing game that got the Stars down the field on their first possession, but it was the run game that punched it in. Taylor in motion. They give it to him on the counter play. And not much, maybe a yard.
Short little gain there. And a lot of those sort of, I guess the right term maybe would be option play. I'm not really sure what you call it, but just kind of looking one way and faking it to the other guy. And that one read it very well by the Danville defense there. And that, with the way this game's going, that could have gone for 70 yards or that could have gone for 1 yard like it did there.
Exactly. Taylor's seen more action in the passing game, but he also has 119 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. The handoff goes to Weekly straight up the middle, trucking over defenders, and he's got a first down and has the Stars to the 47.
Strong run there by Weekly. Once again, picking up that first down, getting those chains moving. That's what he's so good at, is really being the bell cow for this Western Boone offense. Sort of the default guy, I guess. If you're going to go to anybody, you kind of default to Trevor Weekly on the Western Boone offense. Once again, picking up a big first down for the Stars.
His career, factoring in his junior year and this year, as well as a little bit freshman and sophomore year, he has over 2,000 yards rushing. Very impressive. They give it to him again. He's past the 50-yard mark and into Warriors territory down at about the 49.
Yeah, running it up the middle this season especially has been a big part of Coach Pelly's game plan, because when you run it up the middle, when you get the offensive line blocking, you're good to pick up a good chunk of yards at a time, maybe 5 or 6 on each down, and that's been a big part of Pelly's game plan here. Picking up 4 makes it much easier conversion on these later downs, and that's one of the reasons why Coach Pelly's been able to coach so many state championship winning teams.
Spread wing formation. Taylor comes across to the other side. Similar looking play. They fire it out to him in the flat using his blocks. And Wiest gets to him first here on the tackle. Very short gain. Western Boone Stars fans looking for something. Maybe a face mask or something like that. I didn't see anything, Blake. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch what they were looking for either, but the fans wanted something on that play. But really nice job there by Danville once again to stop the run by Bales. These swing plays, we've seen some of them work early and some of them not so much. Now a 3rd and 4, a big one here right around midfield. Interesting to see, especially if it gets to 4th down, what Coach Pelly wants to do.
3rd and 5 at the 48. Taylor in motion. Handoff to Weekly on the right. Shakes a tackle and looks like he's got enough for 1st down yardage. And man, Blake, he continues to be impressive for this Stars offense.
Yeah, he is very, very dominant when he gets even a little bit of open space. Right there, you saw it needed about 5 or 6 yards. Gets just about that. And he's very, very good at picking up, just enough on some of these plays, kind of extending his body and reaching the ball to pick up these extra yards. That's critical for him there. And now no 4th down decision for Western Boone as they pick up the 1st and keep this drive going.
They always tell you in tackling to go low, but I don't really know, even if you go low to tackle him, that you're still able to bring him down, able to shake off so many tacklers. They do hand it off to Weekly, who almost breaks it to the house. The touchdown-saving tackle came from, that is number 23, Andrew Smith. But, man, another big gainer for this Stars offense.
Once again, you can't give him any open space. The Danville defense struggling, seeing why this guy might be the very best rusher in the Sagamore Conference. And just what a great season he's had, picking up these yards. And another big 1st down on this drive for the Stars.
Another heavy-set run formation, 1st and 10 at the 26. They will be giving it to Bruins, who's the star linebacker for this Western Boone defense. Hasn't seen much action in terms of the rushing game this year, Blake, but hey, why not switch it up a little bit here in the postseason?
Yeah, well, really good to get some variety from time to time. Looking at it down here, Bruins only has 8 carries for 35 yards this year, so more of a defensive guy than an offensive guy that we've seen. But, he can pick up some yards as well, and that he got a good chunk there, about 6, makes it 3rd and 4, or 2nd and 4, rather. Big play by Bruins on offense, as unfamiliar as it is to him this year.
We see it less in high school football, but, man, substitution's a critical play in this game. Weekly takes it, still going, reaching for the pylon, down just short at the 2-yard line, and the Western Boone offense knocking on the door once again.
Another big play by Weekly there. You mix it up a little bit with Bruins, give it right back to Trevor Weekly. And this Danville defense having a very tough time with the Western Boone rushing game. I don't know if Durbin, has thrown 1 pass on this drive. So a lot of runs, and it's working well for Western Boone. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what the Stars, led by Coach Pelly, are doing.
Yeah, like we saw before in the first drive, it was a lot of passing, spreading them out. Now this time, fumble the snap. Durbin still trying to push the pile forward. I couldn't tell. There is a flag on the play. No signal yet. Looked like Durbin was going to sneak it in himself, but he did fumble the snap. I think they might get the Warriors offense for a false start. And they do.
Yeah, they're a bit of an unusual play there. Looked like Durbin wasn't quite ready for the snap. Good job by him to get back onto it, but it's going to be a false start for Western Boone. And that backs him up a little bit. Still, though, 1st and goal with from the 7-yard line. They still got a good chance to punch it in, but that doesn't help.
Gives this Warriors defense a little bit of breathing room. But with how explosive this Stars offense is, any amount of yardage is anything that they can work with. Another heavy-set run formation. Bales in motion. Handoff to Weekly on the left side, who's grabbed and taken down by several Warriors. Looks like it is no gain on the play.
Yeah, and they read that one pretty well. Give them credit there. The Danville defensive front able to take down Weekly quickly. 2nd and goal from the 6 now. And I expect to see another run here, but if we end up getting to a 3rd down, it's going to be an interesting call, especially if it's from this spot. But, very, very interesting to see what the play call is going to be here. I think they might have reset the clock while we were talking, potentially.
There was definitely a little bit of discussion somewhere. Saw one Danville defender run off and then come right back on the field. And another flag flies in. They get the Stars for a false start.
Yeah,
I didn't see much movement there, but the side judge did throw the flag in.
Yeah, I didn't see much either. I think it might have been against number 72, Clayton Unruh. I didn't quite catch it, though. Kind of saw him leaning down there on that play. Yeah, I didn't see much movement either, but must have been something maybe potentially with the head, because I couldn't tell from this angle at least that we're at.
So with Weekly's run, they got it to a 1st and goal at the 2. Now it's a 2nd and goal at the 11. Taylor in motion. They hand it off. No, he will pitch it back to Taylor. Ruled incomplete. Might have been a backwards pass for a second, but the side judge ruled it a forward pass. Falls incomplete, brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, and an interesting play design there to fake it to Weekly and then throw it to the outside to Taylor. Didn't really look like he had much space on that one. And the incompletion might not have been the worst thing in the world because he could have potentially been taken down for a loss there, but very difficult to tell. And these penalties for Western Boone have not helped them on this drive at all.
So a timeout is called on the field with 2:35 left. We're knotted up 7-7. And a very interesting call, Blake, that you mentioned coming up on this 3rd down and 11. Don't really know if they're going to decide to pass it in. They've had some success throwing little screens outside, but again, they have gotten major gainers early from Trevor Weekly, but you only have 2 downs to work with here in the red zone. It's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, for sure, and looking at the game so far, this Danville defense really has not been tested against the Western Boone passing game yet. Only a few throws to the outside by Durbin, so going to be an interesting call here for sure, because if Coach Pelly wants to throw into the end zone, we'll see sort of what this Danville secondary can do for the first time in this game, as they really haven't had to take down this passing game much yet. If they keep it on the ground, wouldn't be a huge shock since it's worked well on this drive, but third and goal from the 11, very interesting call to see here what they're going to do.
This Danville defense is responsible for 10 sacks, averaging 1 sack per game. They have 18 interceptions on the year as well. Been dynamic and dangerous, but have struggled recently. 3rd and goal from the 11. 2:35 left to go. 7-7. Durbin under center. Bales in motion. They hand it off to Weekly. Stiff arming, almost in. Tackled down just short. Nice tackle there from B.J. Wiest. Brings Weekly down at the 3.
Yeah, absolutely a touchdown-saving tackle by Wiest there. Weekly had all the momentum forward to break it in, but Wiest able to completely stop it. A really nice tackle. A good run by Weekly. Looks like 4th and goal from around, I want to say, the 2 or 3 yard line. And
the star kicker, it looks like, for the Stars. Oh, a little bit of trickery going on. Durbin under center. And Danville will take a timeout.
And that, yeah, some trickery there for sure. I was really intrigued by what they could have done on that play. The fake there, potentially, with Smith actually going out as a receiver on that play. Who knows, could Durbin have thrown the ball to Josiah Smith? That could have been a big first for this team.
You never know in the postseason, but pull out all the stops. Why not? You got nothing left to lose because, as we mentioned, Blake, it is win or go home in this situation. You got to think, going through practices in these latter weeks into the season, maybe you come up with a trick play or two just to catch the defense off guard. Switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, especially in a game like this between these two that has been very close so far. Early game, but it's been close, especially to pull it out there. Very interesting. I like the decision by Coach Comer of the Warriors to use the timeout there to get the defense ready. But a huge call here. Getting a look. I think they're going to go for it. I just saw Josiah Smith run back to the sideline. I think Zane Sturgis is now running out onto the field, number 50.
The Western Boone offense staying out on the field for 4th and goal. From the 3.
Moving around a lot.
Durbin in the gun. He keeps it himself on the right side. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Western Boone. Rowan Durbin's first rushing touchdown on the evening puts the Stars back in front of the Warriors 13-7.
That was a very, very gutsy call there by Coach Pelly, and Rowan Durbin putting himself on the line there to push that thing in. And really, really nice job by both coach and all the players to get that play. Oh, and it's blocked.
PAT is blocked by this Stars special teams unit, so the deficit sits at 6 with 1:53 left to go in the first quarter. And we talked a little bit about it, Blake, earlier. Josiah Smith now on the year, 31 for 33. The 2 or 3 that he missed, now 31 for 34, were really blocks. He's been automatic for this team, but, occasionally you let a blocker get through and his kicks get blocked.
Yeah, that's really the only way you can stop him. It kind of runs in the family. Of course, he is the son of Hunter Smith, the former punter for the Colts. He does it all in the kicking game for Western Boone. And, he really hasn't missed any this year. It's really just been these blocks on these kicks. But that every point counts in this game, and believe it or not, you're going to be shocked when I say who blocked it there. It was Wiest for Danville.
The Swiss Army knife for this Danville Warriors team. He can do it all. He punts for him. He's a receiver. He can be a running back as well as a dangerous return man, as we mentioned. Rowan Durbin on the year. Talked about him a little bit. Him with the rushing touchdown earlier. 1,041 passing yards and 14 touchdowns this season, but he's also had 445 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns. Now 14 on the year as Smith sends it away to Wiest. Fielded at the 10. Wiest takes it on the left. Got some blocks in front of him. Stays on his feet, but is still dragging
going.
the pile and will be brought down at the 35.
Another impressive return there by Wiest to be able to get that one all the way to the 35. I couldn't believe he stayed on his feet there for a few extra moments there, picking up a few more yards. And every yard counts, especially on another critical drive for Danville where they're trying to respond to the Western Boone offense. Danville only put up 7 points a few weeks ago against Western Boone. Would be a huge statement if they put up more against them this early on.
Would be a massive improvement from what they did in the first meeting. Soper under center. They give it to Sharp up the middle. Shakes the tackle. And bounces forward for a gain of 9.
Good play there by Sharp. We saw in the last matchup between these two teams that Sharp was able to really pick through the Western Boone defense, especially in that first half. It was the second half where he struggled a little bit more, just like the rest of the Danville offense. But able to pick through there once again, make it 2nd and 1 as the clock begins to tick down in this first quarter.
1:12 left to go in the first quarter. Western Boone ahead of Danville 13-7. Warriors offense on the 44. The handoff to Sharp gets them into Stars territory.
Yeah, they're doing a good job blocking up front for Danville here to give Sharp these opportunities to pick up a few at a time. And into Western Boone territory now. The Stars seem to do better when they're in to their own territory on defense. From what I've noticed calling these games this year, they seem to kind of, clutch up when it comes to their side of the field. But if Danville can pick through once again, that would be big.
A really big bend, don't break mentality. Soper under center. They go to the well again with Sharp on the left side. And he gets forward for another gain of 6.
Yeah, and I believe this might actually be the first time today that Danville's gotten into Western Boone territory, because remember on that touchdown they had, that was a long one. I believe they were on their own side of the field. So for the first time today, despite having 7 points on the board, they're getting into Western Boone territory. And the response by the offense of theirs and the defense for Western Boone is going to be very, very important.
Looks like the Danville Warriors will elect to let the clock run down. And after 1, it is the Western Boone Stars ahead of the Danville Warriors 13-7. Blake and I will step aside and be back here on WBTV Sports. We welcome you back to Western Boone High School. The Stars ahead of the Danville Warriors 13-7 as we start the second quarter. Western Boone got the ball first and scored. The Warriors answered back, and then the Stars were able to find the end zone once again off of the legs of Rowan Durbin. And Soper and the Warriors driving in Western Boone territory once again, facing a 2nd and 5.
We'll see what they do here.
Soper hands it off to Sharp. Looked like there might have been a little bit of slanted movement, maybe. There was different cadences, it looked like, out there, Blake. I couldn't tell. This Western Boone crowd wanting a flag, but flag wasn't called on the field, and the Warriors will face a 3rd and short.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch what this Western Boone crowd was looking for either, so I'm not quite sure there. They're going to do a measurement, I think.
We'll check the measurement.
It's very, very close.
It is very close. I think this is the first time they've done a measurement with you and I in the broadcast booth, Blake. Looks like.
Yeah, first time I can remember.
That is so close on the field.
Oh, boy. Wow.
I'm interested to see what they call here. They will call the Warriors short by just a few inches or maybe even centimeters, Blake.
I believe the official measurement is 1 index card there, Riley. Man, that is unbelievably close. Really, if you think about it, all they got to do is just kind of jump forward.
Honestly, yeah.
That should do it.
I would think here, nothing too fancy. Maybe just a slight little QB sneak. Something in that arena. Soper under center, base formation. Weast in motion. They hand it off to Sharp, who will have the first down.
Yeah, right there. Very simple play. All you got to do is pick up a yard. Might as well just hand it off to Sharp, who's been so good at picking up these chunk yards over this season. And picking up another first down, getting into Western Boone territory. The Western Boone defense has been so good all year, struggling a little bit early. We've seen them struggle a bit early in some games this year, but they seem to pick it up later. But we'll see if they can keep going with that into the ongoing game.
It has been the defensive adjustments that Western Boone has been able to come out with in the second half that has killed teams and been able to extend their leads. Soper, back to pass, looking. He's got Weast. Caught! Weast! Touchdown Warriors!
Wow. What a play there by Weast. He had the coverage burned there. And we'll get the replay here real quick.
It was a beautiful, just lob pass right into the hands of Weast. And man, Weast has been all over the field for this Warriors offense, Blake, and really this Warriors team.
Yeah, you know, when you're burning Ethan Bales on a coverage, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah. So. Very impressive. PAT's big in this game. Harvey's kick is up and through the uprights and good. So the Warriors take a 1-point lead over the Stars with 11:02 left to go in the first half.
And that right there, we mentioned how much better Soper did last week, especially compared to the matchup between these two teams earlier. That was a very, very nice throw there by Connor Soper to get it to Weast. And Weast was open, but it was a very, very nice throw. And having that lead, this is a huge improvement already for Danville compared to how they did back a few weeks ago, taking the lead on the Western Boone Stars. I don't believe Danville ever had a lead in that game, except for possibly very early on.
They were the ones that were able to score first, I believe, because they did.
They
won the toss and actually elected to receive in that first matchup a few weeks ago. Weast on the season, 34 receptions coming into tonight, 658 yards and 4 touchdowns. And last year also had above 600 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. Man, he has been impressive, the 6'2", 180-pound senior.
Yeah, he's been huge for this team. He's been huge in this game. Does he have both of the touchdowns for Danville? Or he obviously has that one right there. He's just been so impressive in this game and throughout the season.
It was Wyatt Gentry who had the other score for the Warriors, I believe. Bales takes it himself. Trucks forward. Still going. He was met hard. Him and I believe it was Stephen Webb locked horns at the 35-yard line, Blake. Big collision, but hey, high school football.
Yeah, that's what it's all about right there, just kind of pushing forward, and you're going to see big hits in these games, especially between two very physical, run-heavy teams like these. Even on the special teams returns, you're going to see a lot of it. But this is a big drive for Western Boone to try and go back on top here. We'll see if the offensive great play continues.
We have not seen a punt tonight. Both offenses have had it twice. Both offenses have scored twice. The handoff goes to Weekly up the middle for a gain of 5.
Very similar starts to a lot of these drives. Early on in the game, we saw some swing passes, but ever since then, it's been a lot of runs to Trevor Weekly. Not a huge shock. Even if you try and game plan for him, he's just very difficult to take down a lot of the time, picking up 5 yards there. And already, because of that good special teams return by Bales, getting near midfield.
We haven't seen much in the passing game of this Stars offense since midway through their second drive. It's been all runs up into that point. Durbin keeps it himself and just has to throw it away. Almost intercepted. That was number 12 for the Warriors. Caden Collins looked like he had a chance at the interception, Blake. I couldn't quite tell what the play call was. It looked like they were going on another screen pass outside to Bales, well covered up by the Danville defense.
Yeah, that certainly is what it looked like to me, trying to go over to Bales or perhaps Ryan Taylor as well, who was in the area there. But that one, Durbin had to get rid of it. He had a lot of pressure. Short one, anybody could have gotten it, falls incomplete. Probably feeling a little fortunate there.
3rd down and 5. Durbin under center. They hand it to Weekly on the left, and not much doing at all. Stuffed up by a host of Danville defensive linemen led by number 34, Stephen Webb. And I believe we will see our first punt of the evening.
Yeah, very, very nice job there by Webb, as you mentioned. And the whole Danville front able to immediately take down a Weekly. That is a big 3 and out by Western Boone. And now Danville's going to have an opportunity with the lead, with the ball potentially, to try and extend their lead. But the Western Boone defense has their opportunity.
Smith punts it away. Both of them talking about it. Danville will field it. It's Wiest himself. Cuts back inside. Is finally brought down at the 33. And flags come flying in on all sides of the field.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that. I did hear some fans shouting hold. I don't know what the calls are going to be. That was very late, and it was on the far side, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, all the action was over on the Danville sideline, but the flags flew in over on the Western Boone sideline. Don't know for sure what the call is going to be here. As we mentioned it, holding call. Official going in between a hold and a block in the back. Justin Pelly and company discussing it with the officials right now.
They're having a discussion. I did not quite catch.
Yeah, like we said, all the action was happening over on the other sideline. The Western Boone crowd was reacting very early into that return play.
Yeah, still having a discussion with Coach Pelly there on the field.
Yeah, they're going back and forth. The referee signaled for a holding call, but he also signaled for a block in the back. It might be both. It might just be one.
We'll see. It looks like they're going over to the flag right now.
Officials picking them up. And still no signal yet. So they are pointing it in the direction of the Danville side. So they are backing them up. I believe that was about 10, so they will get them, I guess, for a holding call. We didn't really see the official call there, but assuming that it would be a holding call, because blocking the back, I believe, is 15.
Yeah, I think that's what the call was. A little confusing situation there, but
interesting
now
sequence, yeah.
now we're back to some offensive and defensive football.
So the return is brought all the way to the 33. The Warriors will now start, it looks like, at about the 22. Some motion going on. Soper under center. They hand it off to Sharp, who spins, cycles forward for a gain of 7.
Western Boone front having a little bit of trouble taking down Sharp here. This could potentially, and they played a lot of really good rushing teams so far, this could potentially be the best rushing attack that they've faced on the season, especially facing Danville for a second time, with Danville able to make some adjustments. But still very early on. We'll have to see if they continue this throughout the game.
2nd down and 3. That was Benedetto in motion. Soper is under center. They go back motion to the other sideline. The flag on the play.
I think that's going to be a false start. Yep.
False start called on the Warrior offense. Backs them up 5.
Yeah, and that's definitely not going to help Danville on that play. 2nd and 8 now. But, all these penalties by these teams, we saw it a few weeks ago. We're seeing it again here. A lot of penalties early in this game.
Very costly on both sides. We'll see if it comes back to bite them later in the game. Gentry goes in motion. Handoff to Sharp on the right side. Stutter steps forward for maybe a couple. And the Warriors will face another 3rd and long.
Yeah, and this is a big test for the Western Boone defense here. Danville's put together 2 excellent offensive drives before this, where the Western Boone defense really didn't have a lot of answers to the passing game and rushing game that Danville had. Now in a 3rd and long, they have an opportunity to show what they're made of. Big play for both teams.
3rd down and 6. Ball on the 32. Soper in motion. For Soper under center. Gentry in motion. Soper looking. Fires for Wiest, and it's caught at the 45-yard line. And the Warriors move the chains.
Yeah, another big throw there by Soper. And Wiest once again. Wiest wasn't really even open on that play. Got a little bit of separation, but he had a few Western Boone defenders around him. And he still manages to make a great catch, and another really good throw there by Soper on 3rd and long. Another, once again, clutch throw in this game. Sets up another big 1st down near midfield.
Soper and Wiest going window shopping. Moves the Warriors up to the 45. 1st down and 10. 7:26 left to go in the game. They hand it off to Sharp, who stuffs them up after maybe a gain of 4, does the Stars defense.
Yeah, we'll have to see. The Western Boone defense at moments this year has struggled a little bit in the secondary with the passing game. There's not a lot of passing in high school football, especially in the Sagamore Conference from what I've noticed. So not a huge shock. Really, all these teams struggle at times, but something that they're definitely wanting to clean up in this game against the pass-heavy Danville team.
Wiest is out wide to the Western Boone sideline. The give goes to Sharp again, and not much doing this time. Be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Warriors will face another 3rd down on this drive.
Yeah, and that is what the Western Boone defense does so well. The run stuffing that they do has been very, very good all year. Couple of struggles in this game, but that was a good one right there. Another 3rd and more like medium here. Big play for both teams at midfield.
The runs on both offenses starting to get stuffed up a little bit. Soper, back to pass, looking, fires on the sideline, juggled and caught! Over on the sideline, that looks like number 16 for the Warriors. That is Benedetto on the fade route. And wow, what a play.
Here, that was the touchdown earlier there. But that was another really good throw by Soper. And, Danville has done very, very good at moving the ball on 3rd downs. running game not working as well, but this passing game has been working excellently. Now near the red zone, big plays coming up.
Soper in the offense at the 21. The handoff goes to Sharp on the right. And again, he gets back up to the line of scrimmage.
Still not quite into the red zone here, from the looks of it at least. Yeah,
they are inches short.
Yeah, and, looking at that last passing play, another bit of a struggle on the Western Boone defense. Some good separation there by didn't quite catch who caught it earlier, but good separation there by Danville once again.
Looked like it was Christopher Devinadetto who caught that long pass. The pass is over the middle, juggled and incomplete. Soper was looking for his tight end, Evan Lawrence, who would have had a walk-in touchdown, Blake. He just could not reel the ball in. And instead of a touchdown for the Warriors, they now face a 3rd and long.
Yeah, you don't get a touchdown any easier than that from the looks of it. Just couldn't quite reel it in. Now 3rd and 9. But a big play coming up right here. That would have been a touchdown, but now Western Boone has an opportunity to limit Danville on this drive.
It's definitely a play that Lawrence would want back. And it looks like timeout was called, I believe, by Western Boone. Or Danville, excuse me. So they will talk it over with 5:22 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, this is a big play right here. Get some time to discuss it. Because if Danville converts it again, it's going to be, not the best thing for this Western Boone defense. If they can get even just one stop, can completely change the momentum of a defense for one team or another. And we saw Danville get the big defensive stop last time. Western Boone had a couple of opportunities on this drive to get some stops and couldn't get it done. So even if this deep into their own territory, getting a stop here, that would be huge for Western Boone. 3rd and 9, big play, we'll see.
Western Boone defense looking a little bit more rattled than usual again. They've already let up more points to Danville than they did in their first meeting earlier in the season. They only allowed 7. Warriors have 14. Soper under center. 3rd down and 9. The handoff goes to Sharp on the left, and he's brought down. It is Ethan Bales in the backfield. That brings up 4th down for the Warriors. Man, what a defensive play.
Heck of a play there by Ethan Bales. Taking him down immediately. He had some space on the left, too. So if Bales hadn't taken him down any earlier, he could have gotten away and potentially stormed into the end zone. So that was a huge tackle by Bales. Not just to slow him down, but to be able to make the tackle. And now 4th and 9. We'll see. They're in the huddle right now.
You mentioned it earlier. It was clear green fields.
They're going for
it.
I think.
Of Sharp.
Or maybe not.
And Danville will take its 2nd time out of the game. We talked about it, mentioned it just now. What an amazing tackle from Bales. It was a one-on-one situation, it looked like there, Blake, between Bales and Sharp. Bales won that one, but man, if Sharp was able to cut that outside, I think he might have taken it to the house, and it would have been the next Danville touchdown, the 3rd one of the night for the Warriors. Yeah,
and Danville certainly feeling the pain of that drop touchdown earlier in the drive a couple plays ago. Now going to a 4th and 9. And, from the looks of what it was a second ago, it looks like they might just go for it here on 4th and 9, a huge play call. So, Western Boone, if they can get the stop and hold Danville to 0 points on what has been a fairly decently long drive, that would be huge for them. And being able to get the ball back to the offense, which has done very well most of the night.
Warriors kicker Caleb Harvey has only attempted 1 field goal on the year. He did make it. It was very early on in the season. And I do not see him out on the field. So the Warriors offense going for it on 4th and 9. Ball on the 20.
Big play. We'll see.
Soper looking. Fires. Juggled and incomplete, intended for Scrafton. And the Warriors turn it over on downs.
That was a massive play from Western Boone. Scrafton just not able to haul it in. And Western Boone now, 4:30 left in this quarter. We'll see what they can do, down 1 point here. But that is huge for the defense, who struggled throughout this game on the first 2 drives, giving up touchdowns, and at that, both pretty long and explosive touchdowns. And being able to get the stop there deep into their own territory, that's huge for them. And now the Western Boone offense has their opportunity to potentially take this lead back.
So the Stars take over at the 20. Very heavy set formation. Blake Miller is the lone receiver out to the wide side. He's at the top of the screen. Durbin hands it off to Weekly up the middle. Breaks loose. Gives a stiff arm to Weiss. Down the sideline and all the way into Warriors territory. First down and more. And man, what an answer back from this Stars offense, Blake.
Yeah, Hogan had it right here. I thought for a second Weekly had broken it again with that stiff arm. Good tackle by Weiss, but Weekly able to find the lane, being able to exploit the holes by the offensive line throughout this game, and especially on that play. Huge play there into Danville territory.
The runs for the... They give it back to Weekly, who's
still
going.
Wow.
Looked like it was going to be brought down for a gain of 4. Instead, it's a gain of 15. And the Stars are rolling.
Yeah, Trevor Weekly, he does this thing where he just kind of carries guys down the field. And, being up here in the commentary booth, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, but he does it so much that you just kind of got to get used to it at a certain point. And another huge one there, picking up 10 extra yards from what it would have been.
A big energizer that this Western Boone offense needed to get them going. Weekly was pretty quiet in the second drive for the Stars. 2 big runs, have them at the 30. Durbin pitches it out to Taylor. Got some room, strung out of bounds at the 25.
And that was a very, very good play design right there. The fake to Weekly, keeping it, had me for a second there, but pitching it back out to Taylor, who had some room, picked up 9 more. And now this Western Boone offense is clicking right here. And, Danville, the defense here, after that offensive turnover on downs, maybe feeling a little more pressure than they did before. And now Western Boone being able to push it down the field very easily on this drive with about 3:34 left in the quarter.
Once again, the Stars down by 1 point. Danville leads them 14-13 with 3:34 left to go in the game. Bales in motion. They hand it off to Taylor back on the left side, and this time, not much doing. Several Stars defenders on top of him, led by Trey Ross.
Yeah, good tackle there by Danville. Making it a 3rd down here, 3rd and 1. We'll see if they can get it here. You think 1 yard, not too difficult to pick up, but when both teams are, doing that, what Danville just did, getting that stop for no gain, very difficult to get this yard, but we'll see.
Durbin under center. He sneaks it himself, got some room, and got the first down. We've seen that a lot, Blake, over the season, especially in the red zone on the goal line. Durbin has snuck it in himself several times this season. And, hey, they got the first down, but they got about 6 out of that, too.
Yeah, that was a good one by Rowan Durbin, getting it just about at the red zone here. And, again, really good blocking by the offensive line. It almost looked like the seas had parted for a little bit there because he had some room. It really wasn't until the guys deeper into the field for Danville got to him, getting into the red zone for a first down.
Haven't really seen a true passing attempt since the first quarter for the Stars. The handoff goes to Weekly on the left, breaks a tackle, pushes forward, still going, close to the goal line. It looks like he's just short at the 1.
Wow, and we haven't seen a lot of passing attempts from Western Boone like you mentioned, but when you have Trevor Weekly, Ryan Taylor, Rowan Durbin, Ethan Bales making all these plays on the ground, who needs passes, You just don't need them if you're making plays like that. From the 1 yard line now, 1st and goal. Big play again by Weekly.
The hole's starting to open up in the run game for this Western Boone offense. Just above 2 minutes left to go in the game. They need 1 yard to take the lead over the Warriors. Durbin under center. He sneaks it in himself.
Flag down on the far
no
side.
No signal yet. There is a flag down. The side judge on the left, and it looks like they will get the Stars for a false start.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt the Stars there. False start. Back him up. No shock that Durbin was gonna keep it there. Now on 1st and goal from the 6, a lot more plays that they could run here. More difficult conversion. You know, these false starts have not been helpful to these teams so far in this game, especially. And with the clock running in the second quarter, definitely not going to help Western Boone on that one.
Definitely a switch up from the first time these two faced off in the first half in that game. It was a very clean game. Seen a lot of penalties so far early in this half. Durbin under center. They hurry out quickly. He gives it to Weekly on the right. Hit and dropped, maybe after a gain of 2.
Yeah, not much there. Another good stop by Danville, and now 2nd and goal from around the 4-yard line, I believe. And, just about a minute left in this quarter. We'll see if they try and drain more clock here before they score or if they don't score at all.
Clock ticking down, a minute to go. And it looks like Danville will take their 3rd and final timeout of the half. It'll be 2nd and goal. Stars with a chance to take the lead, down 1 against the Warriors.
Yeah, that right there. Coach Comer wanting to get his guys ready here. I mean, this could be just about anything. You mentioned not a lot of passes in this game, so you expect some more on the ground. And, but who knows? There could be some passes here. This could really be just about anything, when you're going from the 4-yard line and Coach Comer giving his guys the opportunity to think about all the possibilities here. A minute left in the quarter as well. We'll see what these teams can do. Looking at this as well with the fact that this run game for Western Boone has kind of been reawakened here. Just some good stops in the red zone from Danville. But this could be just about anything in the run game, whether it be outside a pitch. We'll see what they do here. Very interesting situation.
Both these offenses have been very dynamic in that they've been able to attack with the ball in several different locations at defenses. Western Boone facing a 2nd and goal from the 4. Durbin pitches it out to Taylor on the right. Shakes a tackle, diving to the pylon. No signal yet. Touchdown, Western Boone.
Yeah, another outside run there by Taylor. He's gotten a lot of those this year. He got some good blocks and managed to reach it into the end zone. Was waiting for the official to signal it, but it looked pretty obvious that he had that one. And that is a big response by Western Boone. They retake the lead here. We'll see what they do on here. Looks like they're going to go for the PAT on this one.
They are ahead 5 right now. They're going to let the reliable leg of Josiah Smith. Maybe not.
They're moving it again.
Switching it up once again for a trick play, maybe. Durbin in the gun. He's going to take it himself. He fumbles the snap on the left, still trying to make some magic happen. Spins off. A flag is down on the play. So even though the Warriors stuffed the 2-point conversion, I think the Stars will get another crack at it because it looked like the first tackler in on Durbin may have given him a face mask.
Yep, that is, I believe, what they're going to call there. And, I was looking at that play. I was looking into the end zone. Josiah Smith was open. I was thinking, oh, my goodness, is he actually going to throw it to him?
The kicker was out wide at the top of the screen. I was wondering if they were going to go to him there.
Yeah, but they do get another opportunity here. And, from a shorter yardage, wouldn't be surprised if they go for the 2-point conversion again. I believe that'll set them about, I think the 1 is where they're going to set it. Yep, the 1-yard line. And they will go for 2 here from the looks of it, unless they want to fake it again and kick the extra point.
I don't see Smith out there currently. Looks like the offense is going to try and get this in to extend the lead to 7. Durbin himself is in. 2-point conversion is good. And the Western Boone Stars have a 21-14 lead over the Warriors with 55 seconds left to go in the second half.
Another big play there, making up for the blocked extra point earlier in the game here. Now back up 7. You feel a little bit more comfortable than if you were up 5 or 6. But 55 seconds left. We've seen some crazy stuff this year in a game that I called with Andrew Petro against, it was Western Boone against North Montgomery. Western Boone had about a minute left in the first half and ran it in for a touchdown on special teams. We've seen some crazy stuff happen in short time, so we'll see. Either one of these teams can score again, who knows, but a really, really nice drive put together there by Western Boone to retake the lead. And you feel like they may have calmed a little bit on offense and defense just before halftime. So if you're cheering for Western Boone, you're definitely relieved by that. And if you're cheering for Danville, a little bit of concern, but they've still been playing well in this game.
Both of the nerves seeming to be slowed down as the game has gone on. The man that got into the end zone for the Stars' third score on the evening, Ryan Taylor, 5'10", 150-pound senior. It's been a little quiet the past couple of weeks, but gets a big score for them to put the Stars back in front. But the difficulty here with managing clock, Blake, is the Warriors used all 3 of their timeouts, and they only have 55 seconds left. You wonder if maybe they just run the clock out or if they try a few passing attempts to try and force the ball downfield. Josiah Smith will squib it over to number 21 for the Warriors. That is Colton Mosley. And he crosses the 40-yard line, brought down at the 42 with 49 seconds left to go.
Yeah, and a lot of that, I think, depended on that run back on special teams by Danville there. Getting it past their own 40, there is an opportunity for them if they want to take it. I would definitely expect them to be passing the ball here and not running it, because if you pass an incompletion, it'll at least stop the clock. So looks like they will possibly be going for it here.
First down and 10 at the 42. Soper hands it off to Sharp on the left, who leapfrogs over a defender and has a gain of 5 up to the 46-yard line. And there's really no motion yet. Not really an motion to hurry this offense along. Obviously out of timeouts. Under 30 seconds left to go.
Yeah, and last week when Danville played Tri-West, they kind of let the clock go down and then threw a Hail Mary. So we'll see if they do something similar here.
Trips formation out wide to the left. Soper back to pass. He fires a screen outside to Wiest, who's got some room, shaking a couple different tacklers, and a flag flies in over where the blockers were in that formation. So a pretty solid gain on the play. Looked like it will be negated from what looked like a holding call.
Yeah, we'll see.
And it will be called holding on the Warriors.
Yeah, let's see here what they do. Only about 10 seconds left. Do they take the chance and try and set something up deep down the field? I don't know if Soper can throw it like, 70, 60 yards like some of the pros do, but, they could potentially set up for a deep throw and maybe some laterals or something like that. Or they could just be kneeling it out here with only 10 seconds left. We'll see.
Depends on how bold third-year head coach Jamie Comer is feeling. But it doesn't look like victory formation. Soper is under center. 2nd and 12. They hand it off to Sharp on the right, who gets a few yards back. Brought down after a gain of 4. Triple zeros on the clock. The second half coming up. But the first half, Western Boone leads Danville 21-14. Buckle up, folks. It's been a barn burner so far. It's going to be an epic conclusion between these two teams. Blake and I will step aside for halftime and be back here on WBTV Sports.
Hey, Britt, we gotta go.
Oh, well, see ya.
Hurry up. You've got 5 minutes. We're gonna be late. Hey, baby girl.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
p.m. Saturday afternoon. You have two choices. Option 1, take 2 nanoseconds to reach over and put on your seatbelt. Or option 2, decide it's too much work for a Saturday and don't put on your seatbelt. As the seatbelt alarm continues to sing the song of its people, you roll your eyes. You're just going down the block, you'll be fine. You take a turn to the left and that's when you see it.
Just wear your seatbelt. It's an easy way to save your own life. The Indiana Criminal Justice Institute wants to remind you that choices matter. Click it to live it.
We welcome you back to Western Boone High School. The Western Boone Stars lead the Danville Warriors 21-14. Fireworks in the first half, Blake. Man, these offenses just came out swinging, and they did not take their foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, both of these teams have had a lot of explosive plays, a lot of big passing plays by Danville and by Connor Soper. A lot of good runs by Western Boone, especially on that last drive. It seemed like they were unstoppable on the ground. And all of it has resulted in Western Boone taking a 21-14 lead here. Danville's done a good job staying in this game, a lot better than they did a couple weeks ago against Western Boone, where they struggled mightily in that game. But now Western Boone and Danville in a close contest here. I believe Danville woke at the ball to start the second half as well. So we'll see how this next drive goes. This and maybe the next drive after that will be huge for this game.
It was at about this point in the game played between these two earlier in the season that the Danville offense started to hit a wall facing the defensive adjustments of the Stars. It'll be interesting to see how this half transpires. One half away from crowning one half of the sectional semifinal champions in this side of the bracket. Blake, the other game going on, the winner of this game plays the winner of Monrovia and Speedway. We have some scoring updates for you on that right now.
Yeah, looking at that game between Monrovia and Speedway, looking at the records going in, naturally you'd expect Speedway to have the advantage there. Speedway 6-4 going in that game, Monrovia 3-7. It's actually Monrovia in the lead right now in the third quarter, up 14-7 over Speedway. Though Speedway does have the ball into Monrovia territory in the third quarter, so we'll see. But a bit of a surprise there in that game going on. And like you mentioned, the winner of this game will be in the sectional finals, and they will play the winner of Monrovia and Speedway next week.
Again, very interesting dynamic going on in that game, as well as this game, too. Only one touchdown separates these two Sagamore conference opponents. They are two of three schools left in the Sagamore Conference in the postseason, Southmont being the third. They are over at Linton Stockton, playing the number one team in 2A, that is Linton. But doesn't seem to be a score updater for that one at the moment. We'll keep you updated on that as we get more information going. But Crawfordsville and Tri-West lost to these two teams playing right now, obviously. North Montgomery lost to Speedway 40-36. Speedway playing against Monrovia right now. Frankfort lost to Kokomo, and Lebanon lost to Mooresville. Sagamore Conference, Blake, is a very tough place to play, but it's also very tough to get out of and get moving in the postseason, I've noticed over the years.
Yeah, seems like it. And, this conference, I guess you just sort of beat up on each other during the regular season, and it makes it a little more difficult going into the postseason to get some momentum. We've seen, of course, Western Boone in recent years has done a good job getting that momentum. And, Danville has also been a team very good at getting that momentum. But outside of that, some struggles in the Sagamore Conference in the postseason over these last few years.
As we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Danville won the toss and elected to defer at the second half, so the Warriors offense will see the field first, and a much-needed drive and score for Danville to keep this game close. It'll be interesting to see how they come out and what they do. They've been very effective in the passing game, Blake. Started off the game pretty solidly in the run game as well, but it's really been the passing that's gotten it done for the Warriors tonight on offense.
Yeah, for sure. And a little bit of a surprise there. Connor Soper has been playing well these last few weeks, but you would still expect the running game to be the primary attack. But he's done excellently, especially on these clutch third down throws. Seems to have ice in his veins when it comes to those. He's made a lot of big throws and kept the Warriors in it.
Smith will serve to the Warriors. And we're underway in the second half. Short squib kick going to be fielded by Collins at the 20, up the sideline, stutter stepping, and then hit hard by a couple different Stars defenders. Collins able to get it up to the 35.
Yeah, interesting kick there, kind of going out to the side. And pretty decent field position here for the Warriors going into the first drive of the second half. Western Boone has definitely been more of a second half team over this season. They've been good in the first half and excellent in the second half. We saw it in their game against Danville back a few weeks ago. Let's see if Danville can respond to the adjustments by Western Boone.
First down and 10 at the 33. They give it to Sharp on the right side, who pushes the pile forward for a gain of 5.
Yeah, not a surprise there, going to Sharp to start out the drive. That seems like what they've mostly been doing on first downs. Mostly go to the passing game on second and long and third and long, especially on most third downs. I've noticed they've gone to the passing game. But giving it to Sharp there, picking up a few, making it 2nd and 4 here.
2nd down and 4 right at the 40-yard line. Soper under center. And flags fly in on the play. That was Devin Adetto in the wing position over on the right side. Leaned forward just a little bit, and he knew it immediately. Back him up 5 for a 2nd and long.
Yeah, that one pretty quick to tell just before the snap. Some movement up front. And a lot of pre-snap penalties in this game, especially with false starts by both teams, really. And there's one by Danville to pack them up, make it a more difficult 2nd and 9 here on their first drive of the second half.
So a solid gainer of 5 negated immediately by the penalty. 2nd and 10 at the 35. Soper in the gun. Looking. Dumps it off in the flat to Wiest. Got some speed on the sideline. And he'll get that 5 yards back. But it will be a 3rd and long facing Danville.
Big play here to start the second half. Danville desperately trying to tie this game back up. If Western Boone can get the stop here and get the ball back to their offense, that would be huge. We'll see what Coach Comer calls for the Danville offense here. A very interesting decision. 3rd and 4. Do you pass it? Do you keep going with your run game? We'll see.
Soper is in the gun with the offense at the 40. 3rd down and 5. Wiest goes out. Flag is down on the play. It's a screen pass going to Gentry. Play was blown dead immediately. There'll be a false start on the Warriors. And once again, Blake, small little penalties here and there really hurting and really just slowing down the offenses on both sides. But right now to start the second half, the Warriors.
Yeah, especially here on this drive. We've seen it a couple of times where we've had multiple false starts almost in a row on some of these drives, and these penalties begin to add up and are very costly, especially on this one for Danville.
3rd down and 10. Empty backfield for Soper. And a timeout called, looks like on Western Boone. Pelly very fired up. But it will stop the action. 10:29 left to go. Western Boone ahead of Danville, 21-14. I think Pelly was still seeing something that he didn't like. Really in that whole sequence, Blake, from the 3rd and 5 then to the 3rd and 10, looked like Western Boone's defense was a little bit confused and misaligned. So Pelly forced to burn one of his timeouts.
Yeah, trying to get the play on the field correctly right there. Having to use up a timeout early on in the 3rd quarter, not ideal, but in order to stop a big play by Danville, sometimes that's what Western Boone's got to do. 3rd and 9, big play.
We went from an empty backfield to a heavy run formation. Soper back to pass, looking. Fires over the middle, intended for Wiest. It's caught! He's burned him to the 10! Touchdown, Danville! Soper going to Wiest. And we're an extra point away from having a tie football game.
Once again, the secondary for Western Boone has been burned. Look at the replay here. Good separation by Wiest. Working on number 82.
Looked like Rich Wine on the play.
Yeah, Rich Wine there. And the Western Boone secondary struggling again. A huge play there by Danville. And they could tie this game up here with an extra point. We'll see.
Extra points in this game have not been gimmies. Harvey kick is up and good, it looks like. And with 10:21 left to go, the Warriors get the much-needed score that they need. And we are tied at 21 all across the board.
Huge play there once again. Tone setter again for Danville coming out of the first half. And in under 2 minutes able to score another long touchdown pass. And Soper again on the money there. And Wiest able to make more separation. That has been the name of the game for Danville's offense, passing the ball deep. And Soper has done a great job. A very, very nice throw looking at that one. And able to tie this game up. That's got to take the wind out of Western Boone a little bit, but still a lot of time left. And they'll get the ball and try and respond on offense.
When we talk about offenses under pressure, this Western Boone defense has been all over offenses their entire season. 32 sacks, 34 quarterback hurries, 7 interceptions, then combine that with 10 forced fumbles and 11 fumble recoveries, 81 TFLs. This is a defense that plays fast and physical, Blake, and just really not able to get settled in and get off the field when they've needed to against this Warriors offense.
Yeah, certainly not able to do really what they've been able to do a lot this season. Really, they have only really given up this many points once, and it was against Tri-West.
James Beck sends it away. Tomes was the one who received it, and he stutter steps and pushes his way forward to the 39-yard line. And now it is Western Boone's chance to take the lead once again.
Yeah, you know, when you have these explosive plays on offense on one side, it really just all comes down to how the offense on the other side is going to respond. Western Boone, we've seen it a lot. They're able to make a lot of big plays on offense after big plays by the other teams. We saw some of that in the Tri-West game, even though they lost that one. And they've got to keep going on offense with this many points being scored.
Trip swing to the wide side. Weekly gets it himself. And it's a couple hard-fought yards, not much. Gentry in there on the shoestring tackle, wrapping up the legs of Weekly. 2nd and 7 facing the Stars.
The play calling here by Coach Pelly is going to be fascinating to see. Still keeping it on the ground, even though Danville's had some success in the air. Certainly ready to just go with their traditional game plan, which has worked for them so well this year, and it's worked for them in this game as well. It's
been 4 turnovers between these two teams the last time they faced off. Been a clean game in that facet. Weekly keeps it himself and bounces forward past midfield down to the 48.
Big
you
run
need
there.
an Energizer Bunny, you got him in Trevor Weekly.
That's a big one right there. Once again, he was just a couple of steps away from potentially breaking that one all the way. But a big play for the first down. This Western Boone crowd, whenever there's a score on the other side, they've been re-energized by Trevor Weekly's running. Gets him into Warriors territory with a first down. A big play there by Weekly once again.
First down and 10 at the 48. 9-10 left to go in the game. Knotted up at 21 all. Weekly gets it on the left. And he gets just back to the line of scrimmage with forward progress. Again, a solid gang tackle from this Warriors defense, Blake. They've been able really to bottle up Weekly on some of the runs, but at the same time, Weekly's been able to answer back, and this offensive line's been able to answer back with solid runs to those stops and those no-gainers.
Yeah, certainly throughout this drive and many other drives.
Durbin under center, back to pass. Fires out in the flat to Weekly. That is Bales for a short gain of 3.
Yeah, 3rd and long here. Haven't seen a lot of passes other than these sort of screen passes from Durbin to Bales and Taylor at times. So bringing Blake Miller out onto the field, the wide receiver. So we'll see what their plan is here on this 3rd down and 6. Big play here for both of these teams.
The Stars have passed it when they needed to. 3rd down and long at the 45. Durbin will pass it. Deep drop. Looking to the sideline. He's got Bales. It's juggled and caught. He cuts inside.
Wow.
Touchdown, Western Boone.
What a play there by Rowan Durbin and Ethan Bales. Wow.
He was juggling it when he caught it, Blake. Kept a hold of it, stayed in bounds, and cut inside, cut it upfield, and took it to the house. And pending an extra point from Josiah Smith, the Stars have a chance to extend the lead to 7.
Yeah, another huge play right there.
Good snap, good hold, and good kick. 28-21 with 8:18 left to go. And 2 offensive scores from both teams in the first few minutes of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, both on 3rd downs as well. Huge plays there. And looking at that one by Rowan Durbin delivering a very, very good pass. A little wobbly, but right where it needed to be. And then Ethan Bales able to adjust, make the grab, and just weave his way into the end zone. Nice job there. Western Boone retaking the lead. I tell you one thing, Riley, this game is looking like it could potentially be a huge shootout in this, both in this first half and in the second half.
Very far removed from the first meeting between these two. It's a very one-sided affair. As we've mentioned it, the Warriors have already put the ball into the end zone twice more than they did the first meeting. But Western Boone, with another big play, breaks the tie of 21 to 28 to 21. But man, we'll see. Once again, this Stars defense had chances to get off of the field on the Warriors' first drive of the game and on this start to the second half, and were unable to. So it's going to be interesting to see which defense gets the stop first in the second half, Blake.
Yeah, it's going to be important to see. Defenses couldn't get much going in the first half. Let's see if they can do it in the second.
Smith sends it away. It's a deep kick this time. Wiest will field it at the 13. Wiest outside. Got some room. Down the sideline. And brought down at the 29.
Yeah, and I've been interested so far. I don't think there's been a touchback tonight from Josiah Smith so far. I'm wondering if Coach Pelly and all of them are doing that on purpose, or if Smith is just not kicking it as deep as he normally does. We'll see. We'll figure that out, I suppose. But interesting so far, not seeing any touchbacks from Josiah Smith, who has pretty consistently hit them during this season.
Talked about it too, Wiest being a very dangerous return man for this Warriors offense. They hand off, goes to Sharp, and met quickly after a gain of 3.
Yeah, and when you're getting into a game like this, Riley, where there's going to be a lot of touchdowns scored and a lot of points, you always want to be on the upper part of that. You always want to be in the lead, or what feels like in the advantage. Western Boone, when they got into a bit of a shootout against Tri-West, they were always down in that game from the start, and that really hurt them. Now being up, it could help them a little bit here, but certainly an unpredictable game so far.
2nd down and 7. Soper under center. They once again give it to Sharp, and nothing doing. Tackle for loss. Number 15 on the play, it's Jake Johnson, was there first for the Stars.
Nice job there blocking the run by the Western Boone defensive front. This is the down here, though, that I'm most interested to see. 3rd and 6, almost the exact same situation as last time, and we had that long touchdown pass from Soper to Wiest. So we'll see. Seems like more than likely a passing down, and we'll see if the Western Boone defense can stop it.
3rd down and 7. Soper looking, fires over the middle. It's juggled and caught. Reeled in by Gentry, and a clutch catch keeps the Warriors' drive alive.
Yeah, great catch there by Gentry. A little bit high there, but able to go up and make the grab. And that is another big first down for Danville. The passing game has been very good. Western Boone's had guys down the field in coverage. The passes by Soper have been pretty good so far, though, and been able to beat that coverage.
1st down and 10 at the 43. Wiest in motion. Soper hands off to Sharp. Got a hole, got some room, and he's hit hard after a gain of 4. That was the cornerback, Richwine, coming up to make the stick. Man, Soper had some, Sharp had some daylight. And he's clutching his ankle a little bit. Ooh. Shaken up on the field. He got hit hard and bent back. It was a big hit from Richwine. And Sharp had a hole up the middle, had daylight, and immediately met him.
Yeah, I certainly hope he's all right. But, looking there.
Sharp walks it off by himself, gets up. That's very good to see.
Yeah, certainly.
One of the scary things is the injuries in football. It's very nice to see the player walk off on their own power, let alone walking off in general. Very nice to see. You know, sometimes you get shaken up on those hits, but able to recollect himself. And the Warriors will now bring it back onto the field for 2nd and 7.
Yeah, certainly hope that Sharp is all right. 2nd and 7, I think 6 here officially. We'll see.
Soper in the gun. Sharp just behind him, I believe. Soper looking, keeping it himself. Didn't really see any options very, very early. Zane Sturgis in there on the tackle, one of the star defensive linemen for the Stars defense. He tucked it and run quite quickly there, Blake.
Yeah, he had to throw on the outside if he wanted to make it. Instead, decides to keep it himself. Didn't like the look there. And not able to get much, maybe 1 yard. So quick decision-making there by Soper. 3rd and 5. Let's see if Western Boone can cover this one, or if Danville will get it.
3rd down and 5. Soper, deep drop. Lofts one in the air. Incomplete, and flags fly in on the play.
You know,
it looked like maybe, I couldn't tell. It's going to be some sort of PI call. I couldn't tell if there was a push-off, but there was definitely somewhat of a drag down at the end.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It kind of looked like the feet got tangled. Looks like the way the Stars are moving, it looks like it's going to be called against them. We'll see, though. Looked like the feet got kind of tangled. They both kind of fell down.
Pass interference called on the defense of the Stars. That was number 21 in coverage, Mason Tomes. And Gentry had him burnt on the play, But again, Tomes was able to catch up to him. It would have been a 50-50 ball either way.
Yeah, feet getting tangled there, but they're going to call it on Western Boone. Push him down the field. That'll be a 1st down. Unfortunate for the Stars. But Danville getting another 1st down, moving down the field.
1st and 10, now at the 37. Soper gives way to Sharp, who has one of his biggest gainers of the night, a gain of 9 or 10. Depending on where they spot this with forward progress, he might have had enough for the 1st down. Will be just short, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, good to see Sharp back onto the field after that hit earlier. And getting it 2nd and 1 here. They could run the ball and try and pick up the 1st. We'll see what Danville does.
Sharp back in the game, 2 yards behind Soper, who's under center. They give way to him again, and he's got enough for the 1st down. Brought down at the 24, 4 yards away from the red zone with 4:36 left to go. Down 1 score.
Yeah, we'll see here. Another big 1st down for Danville as they get past the 25-yard line here. And we saw Western Boone able to make a red zone stop earlier in the 1st half. Let's see what they can do here.
1st down and 10. Soper, they give it to Sharp again. Tripped up after a gain of 2. Man, he has been a workhorse for them all night, Blake. Has been a mostly dominant passing attack for most of the evening for the Warriors. But, man, when they've needed a clutch pickup of 2 or 3 yards for 1st downs, Sharp's been able to do that for them all night.
Yeah, for sure. Sharp, like you mentioned, workhorse for this entire offense all year long, and he's shown it in this game, able to pick up the chunks when they need it.
One of the star linebackers for this team as well. Soper with a drop. Fires over the middle. It's caught by Scrafton. Man, what a jump catch from number 4. And that gets him very, very close to the 1st down. Maybe just 1 yard shy.
Yeah, this is a fascinating decision here by Coach Comer, what he does on this 3rd down. Trying to convert. Do you give it to the running back and try and let him get the first down. It's what you did last time. We've also seen so many passes. Those have been 3rd and long. Let's see if he mixes it up and goes for it on short. Interesting call.
Scrafton on the year has 299 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Soper gives it to Sharp up the middle, breaks a tackle, still going, and brought down 2 yards shy of the goal line. Almost had it in the end zone, Blake, but the Warriors threatening to tie this game up once again with 3:03 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that was a big-time run there. That's going to, set him up very, very close here. And about less than 3 minutes left in this quarter. The fireworks keep going. These drives have not been stopped yet in the second half. Not used to seeing that for Western Boone's defense.
2:44 left to go in the game. 1st and goal at the 3. Soper under center. They give way to Sharp, who got very, very close, but I think he just got stood up a yard shy. It was number 32 for the Stars. Or 31 for the Stars. That's Philip Talbot. Also 32. That's Carter Markham.
Yeah,
who
nice.
really headed that stuff.
Yeah, nice stuff there, like you mentioned, from Western Boone. It looked like Sharp had his path, but able to bring him down here, but still 2nd and goal. We'll see what they can do.
Scrafton and Weister out wide. Soper under center. Benedetto in motion. They hand it off to Sharp. No signal yet. Looking at the bottom of the pile. They still haven't called it yet.
They're going to say short.
Wait, Western Boone says they have the football. There's no, I haven't seen an official signal from the ref yet. The ball is down literally on the inch line. Wow. Western Boone said they had it, but I don't believe the refs gave that to him. Looked like Danville was able to maintain possession, and it's now 3rd and goal.
Yeah. I can't believe they didn't get it in on that play.
Soper sneaks it himself. He's got to be into the end zone. I still don't see a call yet. Both the officials haven't called it yet.
Looks like he's got it.
Touchdown, Danville! After a very, very delayed touchdown call. But Soper sneaks it in himself, and the Warriors are 1 point away from knotting it up at 28 apiece.
Yeah, unsure what the mix-up was there, but they do eventually get the signal for the touchdown. And another good drive by Danville here as they try to tie it back up.
It's been a couple of longer calls this evening throughout the game. Harvey boots it through with the floater, and it is good. 28-28, a minute 12 left to go in the 3rd quarter. And Blake, with the way that scoring has come so fast and furious in this game, what do the defenses got to do? I mean, both these offenses are showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, these defenses have just got to start picking up on some of these plays that they're running. Danville's really struggled against Western Boone's run game. Western Boone has especially struggled against the passing game of Danville. Even on the shorter passes, they've given up good chunks. And, of course, he had the long touchdowns by Danville. That one was a sneak. Those are when you get that close, it's nearly impossible to stop it. But both these teams have a lot to clean up on defense, but both offenses doing their parts, hoping that the defense can give them some support as we go on towards this 4th quarter coming up.
The biggest storyline for this Danville team facing off against a very heavily favored Tri-West team in the first round of the sectional a week ago, 6 turnovers that they had on the Bruins. And Tri-West, Blake, was putting up very impressive numbers. Over 2,000 passing yards, over 1,000 rushing yards. They were averaging 31 points per game. And their defense had 8 interceptions. They only lost twice in the regular season. Outscored their opponents 290-140 as they booted away to Bales, who's still trying to cut outside, still trying to make some magic happen, stays on his feet.
Flag down.
Now a flag flies in late on the play. on the tackle. There were a couple of different Warriors defenders in there. Will be a personal foul call on Danville.
Yeah, another big penalty there on that tackle. And you kind of hear both sides, both the Western Boone fans that are here and the Danville fans. You know, they've had their reactions to some of these calls tonight. We'll see. You know, Danville not happy with that one. Western Boone hasn't been happy with some others. So, these penalties have definitely had an effect on this game on both sides. So we'll see.
It's a personal foul. I believe it was either a late hit or something of that effect late in the tackle on Bales.
Yeah, and going in this drive, Western Boone, they've been able to basically run it down Danville's throat here. Expect them to be on that plan once again here.
Minute 4 left to go in the game. Western Boone Stars have the ball. The handoff goes to Weekly. And another solid gainer on the play. 8 yards. Has them past the 40. And we're under a minute to go in the third.
Yeah, another big-time run there. Picking up a good chunk more. Make it a 2nd and 2. And with that, Western Boone getting once again near midfield. You know, the special teams, they've made a lot of big plays on both sides today to get good field position for the offenses, which has certainly helped them.
Under 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 2nd down and 8 at the 42. Weekly once again gets it and has the first down for the Stars. Brought down a few yards shy of the 50-yard mark.
Another big-time play there. Picking up that first down with Weekly. And now you're getting near midfield once again.
And it looks like Western Boone content to let the clock run down. 28-28. 4's up, folks. We're going in to the last quarter of play. It's the sectional semifinal round here on WBTV Sports. Fourth quarter, 12 minutes left to go. Western Boone 28, Danville 28. Durbin and the offense at the 48-yard line. The handoff goes to Weekly, who, man, was met by a couple of different Stars defenders in the backfield, and he's done what he's done all season, Blake, turning those negative gainers into a gain of 2 or 3, and we have a Warriors defender down on the field.
Yeah, went down pretty quickly there.
Can't quite tell who it is just yet.
Trying to get a look here. Yeah, I can't quite tell either.
There was a big pile there from where Weekly was running forward. A lot of bodies in there. Legs can get tangled up. Trying to get him to set up.
He is
and he is up on his feet. It's good to see. That's number 23 for the Warriors. I believe that is Andrew Smith. And who needed a little bit of help up initially. but limps himself off to the field, walks off under his own power.
And not sure what the boos are about. Heard some boos in the crowd.
I think the Western Boone crowd was maybe just telling former assistant coach Jamie Comer to get off the field. That might be what it is.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of animosity going there.
Yep.
You know, thinking about this, Riley, this feels like a Big 12 game.
It does indeed. Big scoring on both sides. Gave it to Weekly. Still going, breaking tackles, and fights forward for a really tough gain of about 3. But the Stars are going to face a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, another big play here, handing off there once again. 3rd and 5. What do you do if you're Western Boone? That's what Coach Pelly, I'm sure, is thinking here. With the run game going pretty well the rest of the game, do you keep it on the ground? Do you throw it? Big decision.
3rd down and 5 at the 48. Durbin in the gun. He's going to take it himself. Got some room. Blocks in front of him. 1st down, Western Boone.
Nice run by Rowan Durbin. Picking it up with his legs. We haven't seen as many quarterback keepers as we normally see from Durbin in this game. Really very few. We saw some in the towards the end zone earlier. He got that rushing touchdown, but not a ton so far from him on the ground in this game. Mainly keeping it with Weekly, but a good job to get the 1st down there, a big one for Western Boone.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first matchup between these two earlier in the season. A little bit quieter tonight. He's been effective all throughout. Going deep for Miller. Miller caught it, but is ruled out of bounds. A spectacular jump-up catch from Miller, Blake, but a few yards out of bounds.
Yeah, a little bit out there. Had some tight coverage there. I think some of the fans here were hoping for potentially for a flag there. Looked fairly clean from my angle, but, you know, that's just what I was seeing. Incompletion there. Good catch by Miller, but out of bounds, and now it's 2nd and 10 for the Stars.
That was the 6'2", 165-pound junior Caden Collins. He's been effective on both sides of the ball for this team. Durbin pitches it out to Taylor on the right. Shakes a tackle. Flag flies in on the play. Either a face mask or some kind of holding call. I couldn't quite tell.
Looking over at that Danville sideline.
The Danville sideline was fired up about something. It looked like the flag flew in before Taylor met with the contact.
It's holding on the offense.
And we'll be holding on the Stars' offense. And, man, all of a sudden, 2nd and 10 turns into a 2nd and long. And penalties, like we've talked about, Blake, really weren't a factor in the first meeting. Have really been slowing these two offenses down, and a big one there for the Stars. Wow.
Yeah, these penalties have really killed the momentum at points for both of these teams in this game. Of course, when you're at 28-28, there's still a good amount of momentum going around.
Absolutely.
But, that's very tough for the Stars. I think they're going to mark it 2nd and 24.
Wow. 2nd and 24 moves them all the way back behind to their own territory. Durbin in the gun, passes it outside, thrown high and incomplete, intended for Ethan Bales.
Yeah, dangerous pass there. That one, tipped in the air. That could have been very, very bad for Western Boone. Lucky that one falls incomplete. A little bit high there by Durbin. Now 3rd and 24. What do you do here now if you're Coach Pelly?
It's going to be an interesting call. And I believe, by the looks of it, Justin Pelly and company will take timeout number 2 of the half. 10:06 left to go in the game. 28-28. Western Boone and Danville facing a 3rd and 24. A little bit of a momentum shift maybe in the works here, Blake. You never know what they can dial up. He was looking for his go-to man on the passing routes tonight. That was Ethan Bales. had him on a similar route with the screens and the flat routes that they've been throwing all night. Just couldn't connect with him there. Had a little bit more pressure, did Durbin this time.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Taylor would have been able to pick much up on that play looking at it. There was some good coverage by the defense of Danville there. Yeah, even if he had caught it, maybe he would have picked up 1 or 2. But 3rd and 24, big play here for the Western Boone offense. We've seen Danville, kind of throw these sky balls on 3rd down and have them be caught. I'm wondering if Western Boone wants to take that chance or if they just want to run it and let the defense go back onto the field.
Going to be an interesting call for 10th-year head coach Justin Pelly. He's 94-30 in his games here at Western Boone. 3-time state champ back-to-back in the years of 2019 to 2021. Needing his team to pick up a big 3rd down here. Durbin in the gun. Looking. In trouble. Pressure in his face. Fires over the middle. Juggled and incomplete. Almost intercepted by Ethan Walls. There is a flag on the play. Holding called again on Western Boone. I'm sure in this situation, Jamie Comer and company will decline. Penalty is declined. That'll bring up 4th down, and for the 2nd time this evening, Josiah Smith will step on the field to punt.
That is a huge stop by Danville's defense, who hasn't really been able to do that at all in this game. And Western Boone's offense kind of shot themselves in the foot with that those holding penalties on that drive. Really killed that one. Now Danville has a big opportunity with 10 minutes left in this game.
Smith gets it away, skies it. Another kick, fielded.
Taken down.
By Danville, and man, met quickly by the return team. Caden Collins had the chance to return it, but as soon as he caught the ball, Blake, and looked forward, he had a couple of stars on him immediately.
Yeah, really nice punt there as well from Josiah Smith. And able to get that one very far down the field and really limit Danville. Because if that had been a really short punt, potentially even on Western Boone's side of the field, would have been very good for Danville. Now much more difficult than it would be otherwise.
The Western Boone defense back on the field. Under 10 minutes left to go in the game. Danville and Western Boone knotted up at 28 apiece. Soper hands it off to Sharp. And nothing doing. Cannon Bruns, who's been a star little linebacker for this defense all year, kind of been a little silent tonight. Gets a big tackle for loss there.
Yeah, and whenever there's a big play on defense, you could bet that Cannon Bruns is likely involved in some way, whether he's making the tackle, getting pressure. He's been very, very good at that. Gets a big tackle there right at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 here. The Stars defense trying to get something going.
Came in tonight with 21 TFLs and 9 sacks, as well as 2 forced fumbles. One of the most impressive individuals on this fast and furious defense for the Stars. Soper hands it off to Sharp. And this time they get a chunk of yardage back and will face a 3rd and medium.
And here we go, 3rd and 4 here. We'll have to see.
Both crowds getting into it. It's the 4th quarter. We're tied up, 28-28. What is Danville going to do here?
Yeah, and we're over here near the Western Boone side, and our press box is beginning to shake a little bit.
3rd and 4. At the 35, Soper in trouble. Dumps it off in the flat. Got a man down the sideline. 1st down and more, and Strung out of bounds. That was Gentry once again, who's had several clutch plays for this Danville offense all night. Another big one there.
And that just took the energy out of this Western Boone crowd right there. And, they couldn't get to the outside once again. Man fell down who could have taken down Gentry, and that's a big conversion again for Danville as they push it into Western Boone territory.
Soper had pressure in his face from number 65, Luke Barda. Was able to dump it off. turned a sack into a solid gain. Danville in Western Boone territory. Soper gives way to Sharp. And he gets toe dragged and ankle tackled down after a gain of 2.
Sharp beginning to get stuffed up a little bit on these runs. Danville having to rely on the passing game. It's worked out pretty well for them, though. We'll see.
7:50 left to go in the game. Both teams knotted up at 28 apiece. It's been an offensive showdown between these two. Soper under center at the 45. And not much doing once again. It's Zane Sturgis this time for the Stars. And the Warriors facing yet again another 3rd and long at the 45.
Another good tackle here. But we've seen Western Boone make those tackles on 1st and 2nd down. Can they finish it off on 3rd down on these passing downs by Danville? Danville's torched them with the pass tonight. Can they get the stop here now?
205-pound seniors had 10.5 tackles for loss this season and 2 forced fumbles. Been the leader of that front. Soper in trouble, shakes a sack, takes it himself over on the sideline, got some room, out of bounds at the 29. And another improvisation play from Soper keeps the Warriors' drive alive. And they are now 10 yards away from the red zone.
This Western Boone defense really has not done much on 3rd down, and you got to give Danville's offense a lot of credit. Right there, the great run by Soper, avoiding pressure. He had it in his face, able to get away and find the opening for a big gain. And now their offense looking deep into Western Boone territory, trying to put some points on the board and take the lead back.
1st down and 10 at the 29-yard line. Weast in motion. Soper hands it to Sharp. Wrapped up and dropped after a gain of 3.
Yeah, 2nd and long once again. We've seen that a few times on this drive. Sharp picking up a couple, but not much more than that. We'll see if the Western Boone rush can get to Danville here. 2nd and 8.
Approaching the 5-minute mark in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 8. Soper once again gives it to Sharp. Still going. And is reaching forward close to 1st down yardage. It was Bales in on the tackle. This time Sharp was able to get the better of him yet again. Push his way forward. The Warriors facing again another 3rd and 3.
Here we go. We'll see.
3rd down. Weast in motion. Soper talking with the line. Weast goes in motion once again. They hand it to Sharp.
Blown
the
dead.
Play is blown dead immediately. May have been false start called for the Warriors. Will back them up 5. And man, a 3rd and short turned into a 3rd and 8. Blake, this back and forth action is exactly what postseason high school football is all about.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at this now with the 3rd and long, Danville likely here. We've seen it a lot. They're likely to go back to the pass. Can Western Boone's secondary stop it here? We've seen the defensive front for Western Boone do a good job on this drive. Can the secondary pay it off on 3rd and long?
Weast is the man in the backfield behind Soper, who's in the gun. Looking, he fires out in the flat. Got a couple of defenders, shaking tackles, but going nowhere. And this time the Western Boone defense rallies around for the tackle, and the Warriors are going to face a 4th down and 6.
Huge right here. What do they do? I don't know if they're close enough for a field goal. Looks like the offense is going to stay out there, and this could potentially be the play of the game for both of these teams. We'll see. This is huge right here.
Biggest play of the game up until this point. Under 5 minutes left to go. Danville and Western Boone knotted up at 28 apiece. Soper by himself in the backfield. And it looks like Jamie Comer will take his first timeout of the half. Building up the crowd, and then you take down the energy a little bit. Compose yourself. Get ready to go. For like we talked about, Blake, I think this is definitely is the biggest play of the game, but also one of the few fourth downs that we've seen between these two.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe we do have a final in the Monrovia Speedway game. A huge upset. Monrovia beats Speedway 21-20.
Wow.
That is, so Monrovia will be in the sectional finals.
Facing whoever wins this game tonight. Wow.
That is a stunner right there.
You mentioned it earlier, with the way, with the regular season, that Speedway had, you would think on paper that they would be the favored team to win. They were at their own home field as well. But man, big upset for Monrovia. This game, 4:42 left to go. Whoever wins this will face them for the sectional championship. And that winner will be decided here in the next few minutes. Soper in the gun. Back to pass. Looking. Sacked!
Now, but there's a flag.
Flag on the play. Ball is loose. It's picked up by Weekly, who's on the sideline, still going. And
Big
tackled
play.
down at the 42. It'll be interesting to see what the flag is here. It was Zane Sturgis that came in and jarred it free.
Yeah, we'll see here. It looked like the flag was thrown around the time of the tackle. I don't know if it was before or after. It's a holding on the offense.
On the offense call. A penalty is declined, and it is Western Boone football.
Huge right there.
Wow, what a call.
And that's with that fumble recovery there. I didn't know that the ball, it didn't hit me that the ball was out. Now Western Boone with a big opportunity, 4:30 left. They could potentially take this lead back. That was a massive play there.
When Western Boone needed its defense to step up, they stepped up in a big way, have struggled to stop the Warriors' offense all night. And they come up with a big one finally in the biggest play of the game up until that point. Grants the offense a chance to break the tie. Short time left to go. Durbin's under center. They hand it off to Weekly, who is met quickly in the backfield. Great defensive pressure there from the Danville defensive front. And not so fast, says the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors defense now knowing here they have to get this stop here. And that was a good one to start out the drive. Taking Weekly back. Looked like he actually lost a little bit of yardage there. And going to be 2nd and 10 or 11 here. Another big play coming up.
2nd and 10 at the 43. Taylor in motion. Flag on the play. And I think it will be another false start called. And, man, these two offenses all night, Blake, have just not been able to get into any sort of consistent groove.
Yeah, not a lot. That penalty really is going to hurt them, potentially. We've seen that a lot. They could still obviously convert. Only a 5-yard penalty, but when you're going from 2nd and 10 to 2nd and 15, definitely not going to help. Not sure why the scoreboard over there says 2nd and 48, but,
Change it up a little bit. Test the audience's knowledge on where the first down marker is.
I guess so.
Heavy set run formation. Trent in motion. Taylor gets it. And met quickly after a gain of maybe 2.
Another big play right here coming up. By the way, I was talking about the physical board here.
Oh, the physical scoreboard.
Yeah, not the one on the screen. Yeah, we've done.
Well, testing the audience outside, the fans looking at the scoreboard.
Yeah,
I wonder how many of them said 28 or 48, whatever it said.
Yes, 3rd down here though.
This one is a 3rd and 13. Durbin under center. He's back to pass, looking for his options. Fires in the flat. Almost intercepted by Gentry, who's been all over the place all evening. dangerous pass from Durbin. And the Stars are going to have to punt it away once again.
Yeah, right there. Another dangerous pass. We've seen Durbin throw a few of those. And now Josiah Smith for another big punt here.
Doing well for them all night. The punts have been great. This one a wobbler. And it'll trail out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Game going back and forth. 2:39 left to go. Both these teams still knotted up at 28 apiece. Game is down to the wire. Fans on both sides on their feet.
Yeah, and here, 2:39 left in this game. This one coming down to the wire here. We'll see. This is going to be the drive of the game right here, I think, Riley.
1st and 10 at the 20. Soper hands it off to Sharp right up the middle and had one tackler to beat. Taylor saved what could have been a huge gainer for Sharp. Nonetheless, they get forward for a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 coming up. Clock running down to 2:20 left to go. The winner of this game will go on to face Monrovia in the sectional championship. Been 2 magical seasons on both sides. Soper to Sharp, who is still pushing forward. Doolin with Taylor on the sideline. And another first down after Taylor strung Sharp out of bounds at the 38.
Another big run there again by Sharp. Getting the first down here. Now the Stars begin to struggle to stop the run, which they've been good at all night. We'll see what happens.
2 minutes left to go in the game. Warriors offense, Stars defense. Ball at the 37. Soper launching one downfield for Wiest. It's caught! What a catch from B.J. Wiest!
Wow, looking
in double
at that.
coverage. He's been phenomenal for them all season and comes up with another huge play. Puts the Warriors in Stars territory. Short time left, now 1:50 left to go.
Big play there again by Wiest. We've seen him do it so much. When Danville needs it most, they're moving the ball.
28 all, 1:40 left to go. Soper will give to Sharp over on the left, still going. Western Boone defense starting to feel a little bit of pressure. Backs against the wall. Sharp gets another gain of 7.
Once again, they're having trouble on the run here. That's the thing that the Western Boone defense has done well in this game, was stopping the run. Now with struggles against the run and the pass here on this drive. Let's see what Danville can do.
2nd down and 2 at the 29. Soper pitches it out to Wiest on the left. Got some room. Got the first down and an out of bounds. With, I believe, 53 seconds left to go in the game. He did have enough for the first down. As we mentioned it before, the kicker for Danville, number 43, Caleb Harvey, has attempted 1 field goal on the year and made it. But you wonder if they're going to settle for field goal range or try for the touchdown. 45 seconds left to go. Soper hands it off to Sharp up the middle. Still going. And finally brought down after a gain of 9.
Looks to me they're going to try and get this field goal here. If I had to take a guess, at least, keep it on the ground.
Danville will use their second timeout of the half with 33 seconds left to go in the game.
And really, if you're Western Boone here, you're beginning to get a little desperate. Danville well within potential range. Obviously, a field goal from this range would still be difficult, but this is makeable field goal range here. And Western Boone's defense, they've got to make a big play here, or perhaps Danville could be walking away from this thing. We still got 33 seconds left to go, so we're going to have to see.
Interesting calls and interesting huddle conversations on both sides of the field. Fans on both sides of the stadium on their feet.
Western Boone crowd trying to get back into this. Lost a lot of energy during this drive.
Will the offense of the Warriors be able to put it away and seal it? Or will the defense of the Stars come up clutch for them once again? Soper to Sharp, up the middle on the left.
He
does have enough for a first. Taken down at the 18-yard line, or excuse me, that is the 14-yard line. Clock continues to run, under 30 seconds left. Soper, Weast in motion. They give it to Sharp on the right. Still going and met after several hard tackles. Clock still ticking down. Under 10 seconds left to go in the game. Jamie Comer with the official on the sideline. With 1 second left on the clock, will take his third and final timeout and give the kicker, Caleb Harvey, a chance to send the Warriors to the sectional championship against Monrovia.
Big, huge play here, and Comer being able to drain the clock all the way down here. 1 second left in this game. So now Western Boone, unless it is a miss or a block, could be having their season end right here. But anything could happen still. 1 second left. We're going to have to see.
Last time that Western Boone lost was back in September against Tri-West. They were on a 6-game win streak, including that win against Crawfordsville. Been undefeated since week 4. Was back in the 2019-2020 season when they were 14-1. Both teams have made it past the sectional championship. When last time both teams made it past the sectional championship was 2020. And the Stars and Warriors season both rest on the leg of Caleb Harvey. The kick is blocked! The kick is blocked and no good! Remarkable!
Unbelievable!
I cannot believe it!
Oh my goodness!
Off of the high snap, Harvey's holder had to put it down, take a lot more time to put it down, and man, what a play! And this game will head to overtime.
My goodness, the Western Boone Stars season gets saved here. My apologies there. I tried to get a replay there. My goodness, the moment.
Believe it.
The moment there. Unbelievable.
Wow. So they'll take a second to talk it over. They'll meet back up in the middle, I believe, to determine who will get the ball for the coin toss in overtime. Wow. Blake, what a sequence of events. We're going to step aside momentarily. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on WBTV Sports.
A licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We welcome you back to Western Boone High School and what has been a barn burner of a matchup between the Stars and the Danville Warriors. The kicker for Danville, Caleb Harvey, had a chance to end the game on a walk-off field goal, and it was blocked by none other than the man who's been just cutting through defenders all night and making big plays, Ethan Bales for the Stars. Now we're into the overtime period. Both teams will get a chance to score and possess the ball. I believe it was Danville who won the toss first and will receive, I believe.
I thought for a second it might have been Western Boone who won it and deferred. I'm not sure.
They might have deferred. I do see Bruins on the field, so I will say they deferred. Okay.
Yeah, more than likely, so we'll see here. Yeah, this is one of the craziest games. By far, this is the craziest game this year. This is one of the craziest games. And the game last time was pretty crazy, too, for a bit there, especially in that third quarter. And these two teams came back and say, hey, do you like that third quarter? We're going to give you 4 straight quarters of it. Western Boone potentially saving their season there.
Fans on both sides have been treated to an instant classic tonight. And to top it all off, you get bonus football. It's the way it works. The Warriors offense gets the ball at the 10-yard line. It's where both offenses will start to try and drive it in and score from that position. It's only one overtime period, 28-28. Soper under center. First play goes to Sharp right up the middle. And he's tackled down after a gain of 3.
Yeah, being at the 10-yard line, there are a myriad of plays that you can run here. And running it there. Sharp's been doing a good job of picking up a few. Picking up, I think, maybe 2 or 3 there, what he picked up. And the Western Boone crowd making a lot of noise for their defense.
2nd and goal from the 8. Back to pass. He's lobbing it up for Weiss. Juggled and incomplete, and a flag flies in on the play. Soper was looking for Scrafton. They might. I can't tell if they're going to get the Stars for some sort of holding or pass interference. The flag came in as the fade was happening. A very bold call there
on the defense.
Pass
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Pass interference called on the defense. Very shocking play call there to go to the fade to Scrafton. He had it open, but it fell incomplete. Couldn't quite tell if the Western Boone defender had any extracurricular on that pass defense, but nonetheless, moves the Warriors up. 2nd and goal from the 5. Weiss in motion. They hand it off to Sharp up the middle. Stuffed up after a gain of maybe 1 or 2. It's 3rd and goal.
Big play here. So I'm wondering, if you're Danville, if you don't get the touchdown here, do you go for it if you're Danville?
I would think in either situation it would be very interesting, but I think both teams are at the point where it might be 4-down territory. Soper under center. 3rd and goal from the 3. They give it to Sharp, who reaches for the goal line.
I think he's short.
He stopped just short on the inch line. It's been a game of inches all night when it comes to these scoring positions for both teams. And now what do you do if you're Jamie Comer and company? It's 4th down, and Comer will elect to use his time out in this overtime period. What do you do? It's a very interesting thing because at the end of regulation, Blake, Caleb Harvey had a chance to end the game with a field goal, and it was blocked. Do you take the chance again to take the lead, but you could also get the chance to do nothing, and then the Stars would get Josiah Smith there on the field if the Western Boone Stars offense isn't able to convert in 3 downs. And Smith, who's been automatic the past 2 years, it's a lot of toss-ups in this situation.
Yeah, and obviously this is a very, very difficult decision here. I think, obviously my opinion doesn't matter in this case, but I think
I got you.
I would consider kicking it here because you have, like you mentioned, you have Josiah Smith. You have Josiah Smith on the other side. He's been automatic. Unless you get a block, if you don't pick up the touchdown here, if you don't get a block on a Josiah Smith field goal, the game would end. But I'm not sure what they're going to do here. I think they might be going for it.
Looks like the offense of the Warriors will stay out on the field for 4th and goal. Soper, hands to Sharp. No signal yet. Touchdown Danville. Wow.
Gutsy call.
And after a long silence with no scoring from either team in the second half, Danville gets the leg up on Western Boone, pending the extra point from Caleb Harvey to extend it to 7. And, of course, they go back to their playmaker in Darren Sharp, Blake, who's been phenomenal for them all evening and throughout the season, both on offense and defense. Very impressive showing here tonight.
Yeah, big-time run there by Sharp to get that touchdown.
And it looks like they're going to go for 2. Now this is the bold call of the evening. Weast in motion. They pitch it out to him on the left. Got some blocks. Still reaching.
He got in.
He's in for the 2-point conversion. That is incredible. There were 2 or 3 Stars defenders in the area, and Weast was able to get past all of them, still reach for the pylon, and extend the lead to 8. That's incredible.
That's a big-time drive there. So now Western Boone's got to do that if they want to keep their season alive and push this thing to another overtime. That is big time right there.
It is indeed. So now not only does Western Boone need to score a touchdown here, but they cannot rely on the leg of Josiah Smith. They have to score a touchdown and get 2 to keep their sectional championship hopes alive in this situation. I do want to know that we did get a scoring update in the South game. The final from Linton-Stockton, Linton 35, Southmont 29. So in this situation, these are the last 2 Sagamore Conference teams left in the postseason, and one of them will remain to represent the Sagamore Conference in the sectional championship after all the other 7 have been eliminated. But man, what a magical season from Southmont. Ended off on a tough game, and man, even though it is a tough loss, Blake, you can't be disappointed with yourselves if you're Southmont. Linton's the number 1 team in 2A. And you only lost by 6 points. That's a solid showing.
Yeah, for sure there. They did have a very good season, like you mentioned.
So Durbin and the offense get their shot at it at the 10. This game far from over. The first play goes to Weekly, who's still going, breaks through a tackle, and front flips forward over a defender. Gain of about 3 on the play.
Short gain there, kind of starting off in a similar way to how Danville's drive started out with Sharp picking up a few. We'll see. 2nd and 7 here. You got 3 plays to get in the end zone if you're Western Boone. This is gonna determine everything here.
Durbin under center. He fakes it. He takes it himself. There's a flag on the play thrown in on the Danville sideline. I don't know. It's a holding call. Might look like it.
It's what it's looking like based on how they're backing up.
Face mask called on the Danville defense.
Never mind then.
So it was the pass interference call against the Western Boone defense, and now it's the face mask call against the Warriors defense. 2 big penalties on both sides that have moved both of the offenses up very, very close. There is a lot of talking going on both sides here. I'm a little bit confused. And the referees look to be talking with Jamie Comer and telling him to back off of the sideline. I don't know.
And
there's some discussion.
Well, he's talking to the refs and the Weibo crowd.
Weibo crowd not liking it. Yes.
That's a way to put it.
To say the least. Waving his arms up in the air, trying to hype up. Maybe the Danville side, maybe trying to get the Western Boone side riled up. There's a rivalry between these two that dates back all the way to 2020. Second down and goal. Durbin sneaks it himself.
He didn't get it.
I don't think he got it, but he got very, very close. Once again, ball will be basically inside the 1. It is 3rd and goal.
We'll see here.
And with the way that the offense of the Warriors was able to score and get the 2-point conversion, this is definitely 4-down territory here for the Stars if they don't get it on 3rd. Blake Miller, the lone receiver, out wide. Durbin under center, Weekly just behind him. Bales in motion. He takes it himself. On the second effort, he got it. Touchdown, Western Boone. Was stuffed on the first effort, and the Hart gets him in there on the second effort. It's now 34-36, but what do you draw up here for the 2-point play if you're Justin Pelly?
Oh, boy. This is the season right here for Western Boone. If they don't get it, but if they do, this game is going to keep going on. Man, both sides got to be feeling it right now.
Durbin taking the play of choice in for the 2-point conversion. Ball is on the 3. 34-36. Game on the line. Durbin in the gun. He's going to take it himself. I don't think he's going to get there. The Western Boone offense stuffed by the Danville defense, and they will hold on in overtime and win 36-34. They are headed to the sectional championship.
My goodness, what a stop there by Danville. And this Western Boone crowd is stunned.
Danville going to the sectional championship for the 6th time in 10 years. And man, this came down to the wire at Weibo Field. And Justin Pelly and Jamie Comer hugging it out on the field. Danville sideline elated. Western Boone sideline deflated. And the handshake line at midfield will seal a season and keep a season alive. Both teams, Blake, played their absolute hearts out tonight. We were treated to an absolutely insane matchup between these two teams. They gave it their all. They took each other to the limit, and it came down to the wire. But 2 points separate the Warriors and the Stars, and that is enough to punch Danville's ticket to a date with the sectional championship with Monrovia.
You mentioned it. Both of these teams coming up with huge plays. A big offensive game. The defense has struggled, but when Danville's needed it most, they got the job done. And they're going to move on, like you mentioned, to the sectional championship against Monrovia next week. And they get their revenge for what happened a few weeks ago. Western Boone absolutely shocked by what happened here today. As their team last year went 5-4 in the regular season and got to the sectional finals. This team, 9-1, can't do the same.
The final score here from Western Boone Field: Danville 36, Western Boone 34. The Warriors celebrate, and the Stars go home. And man, what a game it was. Do want to shout out all of the crew here in the booth, doing an amazing job. Cameraman Braden Gideon, my technical director to my left here, that's Grant Prickett, and of course my partner in crime and color commentator, Blake Marth. Blake, it's been an absolute pleasure. Gotten to call 3 games with you this season, each one of them getting more and more intense as we've gone on, but man, it's been an absolute pleasure. And what a roller coaster ride of a season.
Yeah. I got to call all of these games this year. And, it really has been a pleasure. And I want to thank all the folks who listened this year and our whole crew. And Riley, it's been fun doing the games with you. I did some with Andrew Petro and my brother Colin. They've all been fun. And, unfortunate that we don't get to do any more of these games. But at least if we're going to go out, we got an absolute barn burner to end off our calling year.
It's fitting.
For sure, yeah.
Once again, the final score, Danville 36, Western Boone 34. Western Boone finishes the season 9-2. Danville moving on in their season 5-6, and a date with Monrovia in the sectional championship next week. For Blake Marth, I'm Riley Woodall. Good night, everybody, and God bless.